Hello AOS fans, here I am again, Sans Pete. This is just ahead of tonight's Warhammer Quest Shadows Over Hammerhal game that we're going to test, preview, show you how to do. We've unboxed it and now we're going to see how it compares with the original Silver Tower box and see what kind of game it is. I have my reservations about Silver Tower, so I'll be interested to see whether Hammerhal lives up to my expectations. It's introduced a GM, which is one of the things I thought Silver Tower. One of the things that I thought Silver Tower was lacking, and so I'll be interested to see how that plays. Now, we don't want to spoil anything for you. There's 8 adventures in the Hammerhal adventure book for Games Master's eyes only, and we don't want to spoil that for you. So instead of that, I've created my own little adventure, which will hopefully take you through the basic rules or the main rules of the game, show you some of the miniatures, and you can get a feel for the game without me spoiling any of what actually goes on inside the dungeons. If you are a Games Master and you do read the adventure book, you'll see that it's kind of harking back to the staples of role-playing, traps and monsters and dungeon delving, and then there's this sort of interesting off period between games where so you're basically going down stairs under the district of Cinderfall in Hammerhal. You're going down the stairs in this sort of dungeon complex that's beneath the city, and then when you find a new staircase, some of them, not all of them, some of them lead you back up to the next. We can lead back up to Cinderfall, and you can go back up to the city and do kind of things in the off period between adventures. You can sort of heal yourself, or you can earn some money in a pit, or pit fighting, or if not pit fighting, there may be gambling, or maybe you've rescued somebody from the dungeon and you can take them you can go and visit them and see whether they can do you a favour on the surface. So it adds a bit of, it's sort of starting to add some role play, some narrative to the games in the Warhammer Quest, in the Warhammer Age of Sigmar world. Interested to see how it plays. I've created my own adventure. I'm hoping that I was going to say boys, they're not really boys, the gentlemen enjoy it this evening, and I hope you guys too when you get to see it. Now, we have done a quick sort of paint job on our on the figures for you to try and make it a bit easier. I'll just explain what they are. Now, some of these have come out better than others. Didn't want it just to be grey plastic, so if I just bring this in, show you what we've got here. So what I did was, we thought it'd be fun to hark back to the old Hero Quest days of the red. So these guys are just painted red with a sprayed Mephiston red, and then just washed with Caribou Crimson. And I'm quite pleased with the way that's come out. That one is quite good. It gives you an indication of how good the model is. Now, it does hark back to some of my other issues with some of these games. If you paint them, if you want to play, you've got to build them, but if you build them, they're not easy to paint. And I have actually pinned this. It's about the first thing I've ever pinned. You can't see that very well there, but that is pinned, so that you can just pin that back on there, so the lantern doesn't interfere when I actually do want to paint it properly, if I ever do get around to painting it properly, which I would like to do because he is a fabulous miniature. I couldn't do much about the cloak. That was beyond my expertise. So the cloak is going to get in the way. I did another one with a Kayak Acolyte, although I haven't actually got him here. Talking about the figures, it's quite funny, obviously, to sort of save money or to bring down costs. Games Workshop just use these ones that are from their own boxes. So the Blood Reavers over here, now I'm a bit embarrassed about the Blood Reavers because I just painted them red. And well, yeah, they're pretty horrible. They really are covered in gore, and I'm not very proud of that at all. Didn't work quite so well. But yeah, the Blood Reavers, they still come with a massive standard bearer. And it's quite, as you can see there, the trumpeter. He's got these going through the dungeon with his big trumpet, and the standard bearer is the same. He's got this giant standard. I imagine it's extremely cumbersome inside a dungeon. Sort of amusing myself, imagining him banging it on all the doorways every time we went through. And there's a Kayak Acolyte guy with a scroll unfurled, and I haven't got him here, but I pinned the scroll on as well. So these are Kai acolytes. I painted these as sort of Baharoth blue colour, just to make it a little bit different when we play the game tonight. So that's my intro. Pete's got the Blight Kings. He's done something similar with the Blight Kings. They'll be needing those later. And as a little surprise, I haven't got them here. A little surprise, I painted up some horrors for them. They won't be expecting those because they're not in this set, but they are in the Silver Lining set. So that's a little surprise. I hope that does them some mischief. So I'll try to stop wobbling about. So thank you very much, Pete. We will just cut now into our game, hopefully. But that's the adventure set up. So the adventure didn't take me very long to write. I took 9 or so of the floor tiles that I liked, decided what was going to be in them, wrote down the monsters that were going to be there, put in a couple of traps, and some extra money. It's quite important in this game to keep searching for the loot, because the money kind of drives what you can do in Cinderfall. So there's some money things, a couple of magic items. So we'll see how they go. Hopefully you enjoy the report, and hopefully you get a feel for the game for a bit. So we'll see you on the other side. So enjoy it. Hello AOS fans, here we are at the start of the dungeon. You will hear an extra voice today. We won't tell you who he is.
It's not us doing bad impressions. And we can't do Stu. You said Stu.
It's funny because I meant to say Pete. It's not Pete pretending he's got a friend again.
Hello.
So if you remember that from when we did our little unboxing, the game starts on sets of stairs, and so this is the first set of stairs, and they're about to enter the dungeon beneath the city of Cinderfall.
Dum, dum, dum.
So here is a portal for you guys. If you could just push that over to the thing. Now, if I've probably just explained this in my introduction that I haven't recorded yet, but this dungeon is not one from the game. It's one I've made up so that I don't spoil anything for you guys when playing. So I've made it a little bit shorter, I think, than the main events, and there's a few less well thought out traps.
No.
So anyway, here we go.
It's also worth pointing out that normally you always have to have 4 heroes in this game, and if you have less than 4 players, then the rest become companions. Normally in the rules, people would take control. Whoever's turn it is, whoever's the torchbearer, would then take control of all of the companions on their turn. But we're just going to play with me with 2 and Stu with 2, and we're just going to keep taking turns. You like mentioned
his name again.
No. His name definitely isn't Stu.
Okay, so just need to decide who will be the torchbearer for the first turn. Okay, Mr. Stu, you have the torch, which means you choose who goes. Well, you go first, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, guys, you're standing at the portal. There is to this dungeon beneath the city of Cinderfall. There is a faint stench coming from behind the door.
It's not me. It's not a good sign.
Okay, first thing to do is roll this turn's fate dice. Now these red dice don't come from the box. We've got them to differentiate from the black ones. You only get black dice in the box. So what you have to do here is that's a very good roll.
That's a beautiful roll.
You have to.
Doubles.
Any doubles are cancelled out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's almost as good as you can get. So that means that they've got all 5 fate dice to play with. So if you just place them on the necessary squares there, Pete. Now there is something that does happen should you roll all those. You get an unexpected event. If all the dice are discarded, then you get an unexpected event, and if none of the dice are discarded, you also get an unexpected event. So the unexpected event table is specific to the dungeon. Of course, I haven't created one of those. I thought that will probably never happen.
What are the chances?
So
about 1 in a million, I think.
So first dice roll.
I've crunched the numbers, all right?
So if you could just roll a d6, one of you, please. And a 3. The air is filled with a reeking miasma.
It's still not me.
I have to roll a dice for each of you.
Uh-oh.
So, for the Lord Castellant, a 2. You've put that by the Lord Castellant. For the Cogsmith, a 6. For the piratey
Fleetmaster.
Black Art Fleetmaster, a 4, and a 3 for the Lawmaster. So, unfortunately, that means the Lord Castellan has contracted Raw Blight.
Yeah. He's been staying in some unsavoury places before he came down.
Yes. Your hero is seized by a palsy. You have contracted Raw Blight. I have to place a grievous injury marker on their hero dice tray. What a terrible start to the game for the Lord Castellan. Now, this basically can't be removed until after you finish the
dungeon.
The dungeon.
So he only has 3.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Now, theoretically, you're actually at the beginning, so you could go back up and then come back down after you've cured it.
We could.
But that seems a bit silly.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah, so I'm not going to let you do that.
Of course, as the DM, you have the power to maybe have that disappear after a while as well, because you can do all your own kind of stuff.
Well, you can, yeah. I mean, the rules are quite rigid in this,
yeah.
in one sense. But obviously, those of you who do play a lot of role-playing games will soon find yourselves improvising. Well, I do anyway. So I'm bound to improvise, which is a bit difficult when you're trying to explain how to play the game. Mm-hmm. So I try not to do it too much. But yes, you do have control as the game's master, which is what I do prefer that to the original re-release, the Silver Tower release, where there was sort of a little bit random. Here you can carve a narrative for the characters. So, what a terrible start. And I just read what then happens later as well, so it really is a bad start for me.
Don't take out any kind of monthly 12-month contracts.
Yeah,
no long frame records.
Just think short term. Think short term. It's you first, so you need to roll your. I'm afraid only 3.
Right,
only 3 dice. So normally you would roll 1 dice for each of your wounds.
Yeah.
So 4, 4, and 3.
Yeah, each character gets 4. But when you lose a wound in this game, then you can no longer roll a dice for that. So Stu, unfortunately, is permanently lost. With the grievous wounds, you can't heal them.
But he does also have access to the fate dice.
He does. So you have a 3, a 4, and a 4. So now you can do any of the powers on your card, which are
on or above.
Yeah. Now there are several things you can always do on a 1+. You can always move. You can always open a door or a portal, as they're called in this game. You can always search for secret things. And you can always heal yourself, and that's a 1+ the first time you heal yourself in a turn, a 2+ the second time, and a 3+ the third turn. So the importance of searching for secret things is that each room in the game will have money on it, and if you find the money, then you get to keep the money, and then you can spend the money in the city of Cinderfall when you go back up. Which in a one-off game like this, it's not so important, but in a campaign game, it is quite important because basically, Cinderfall's a cash economy, so you need to have some money to do things up there.
I think I think the overheads of keeping this game going over a campaign would be fairly light, not like your D&D and stuff like that, where you've got a lot of paperwork to keep track of. This you've got a lot less. So.
Yeah, there is a roster sheet in the back, which I can't show you, but there is a roster sheet in the back. Perhaps I'll get Pete to flash that up when he does the final cut, so you can record what you've got, because you get artifacts and things and treasures, so you can record those.
Presumably all you need to know is your renown and any wounds and any gold you found.
You can pick up skills,
and if you pick up a treasure or a skill, and
great.
Then also you get experience,
which
I can't actually remember what that does off the top of my head.
But you do get it. So.
Yeah, but you do get it, and you spend it in between adventures.
Right. Well, shall I once again try opening the door?
Yep. Okay.
Open
the door. You can open the door automatically. You could use the one that's on the thing on there, but that will lock the 5 away.
Right. Which could be quite useful.
Yeah.
Might be worth at least opening.
Do you have to start with the lowest one? Or
you can use any one you like, but it always locks the highest one. So this is the fate dice mechanic, which Silver Tower uses, which I quite like, is that anybody can pick from there, but when they do, the highest dice that remains is locked away, so that the next person can always get it. So you can't.
If I use the 1, the 5 will be locked.
Yes, but from you,
and then for Pete's turn,
Pete returns
back in.
So it basically stops you using all 5 dice.
And if I used a second dice, would it lock the 4th one? So
yes.
To speak? Yeah. Right. Well, shall I use the 1 or just one of mine?
Depends on what your abilities have. If you have anything that's a 5+ ability,
I've got a 6 and a 6 there.
So no, not really.
No.
Okay.
Not.
You might as well use the 1 then.
I use this 1 to try opening the door.
Okay. So that you do open the door. So if you put the 5 on one of the purple squares, so that's locked.
It's locked.
Yeah, and then the 1 just goes to one side, and you get the room. which is this tile here.
Ooh.
So this, immediately upon opening the door, you feel like you're being watched, as though your every move is a subject of scrutiny from some far-off power. So there's some gold.
There's gold in the corner.
Um,
Some of the rooms have these weird off-centered tiles, and then that gives you this little dead space. Quite often, you can then put the little tokens in, which is quite handy.
Yeah, those the ones that are outlined in red can't be passed through.
Ah, okay.
So I guess they're supposed to be. They're all eyeballs. So
You wouldn't want to step on them.
no. So and then also you need a portal to see where you can get out. So there you are. That's where the portal goes.
Right.
So that's the only exit from this room, apart from the other one. At the end here.
Excellent.
So there are two exits from this room.
Well, I might as well. I can move, so I might as well use a dice to move into the room.
Yes, every character has a movement rate, and I'm guessing they're mostly 3 or 4.
Mine's 3. Well, Lord Castellan is 3. The Fleet Master's 4.
Yep.
Okay.
So if I move him in,
So that's number of squares. That's you've
find the trick lantern.
Yeah.
So it's 1.
and you can move diagonally. Each chance is 1.
So that'll be 1. That would be 2 rather.
Yes.
3. So if I stand there, in for a penny, I will open that portal as well.
Okay. Is the door there? But actually, there is a portal at the other end, opposite. Okay, this is an empty corridor.
An empty corridor is never just an empty
No,
corridor.
exactly.
Shut the door, block it up, never go there again.
So I will just search the room.
Okay, searching the room, you roll a dice, and if you
Get a 6.
get a 6 at this stage, you will find something. Now, if you search the room twice, then you get to roll. If you roll a 5, 6 on the second roll. So you don't find anything, I'm afraid.
Rats.
Over to the cogsmith. Is that your main?
Yep. So
Okay.
the blocked fate dice, destiny dice comes back.
Actually, you could have used destiny dice if you'd wanted, but you
That's
can use
alright.
it with your other guy. So
Mm.
it's not.
Yeah.
You don't want them left at the end, really. They're free goes, basically.
1, 2, 3, and a 5. So first thing my cogsmith can do is going to go 1, 2, 3.
Ah.
Absolutely nothing.
Everybody roll a d20, please. Oh no, wrong game.
And I burnt my number 1 to get to do that one.
Okay.
I'm going to do another move, I guess. Burn my number 2.
Okay.
Go 1, 2 to there.
Burn your number 2. That might explain what the terrible my.
Well, it does, yes. And I'll burn the number 3 as well to open the door.
Okay.
I feel like I wasn't bold enough now.
Dwarves just charge!
But just while I'm leaning over the board, these portals, the positioning of them does matter. Where it overlaps 2 squares here, that means that both people can fight. 2 people can fight through the door to somebody standing here. 2 people can fight this way, and 1 can fight that way because this one overlaps 2 squares and this one doesn't.
Right.
These are some blood reavers in here, and here they are, the worst blood paint job of all time.
They've just been really emphatically busy
Yeah.
slaughtering.
So there's 6 of these guys in here, and because you didn't know they were in there, they hear you coming. You're all facing the door when you're.
He's just stabbed one of his compatriots there.
So, Mr. Cogsmith.
I'm going to use my last dice to shut the door. We might be in trouble here, lads. Right, so I guess I'm going to start having to shoot some things. So I'm going to use my Dwarves Duarden Pistols ability, which is a 2+, and I've got 5, so
Okay.
that's not a problem. And I roll 2 dice. The Brace of Pistols special rule for the Cogsmith means I roll 2 dice for this ability. It's a 3+ to hit and does 1 damage apiece. 2 hits, so that's 2 damage.
2 damage. Now, the bad guys in this game don't get a save, so that's just 2 damage. So I'm guessing you're going to shoot the one that's directly in front of you.
With the weird chin thingy.
Okay. So that's 2 wounds for him there. They have they get a 4, these guys. They take 4 wounds each.
4?
Yes.
My goodness.
4 wounds each.
And the good thing about this, another thing worth mentioning is that the things what they're armed with actually matters. They're not just
That's
almost
right.
like representative pieces. They do actually matter what they're armed with because they'll have different attacks and abilities. So.
Yeah, that is both a good thing and a
So
bad
I possibly should have maybe looked what I was shooting at first, but I think they're all pretty much the same at the front there. So
that is a good thing and a bad thing. I think I'm not a terribly great literal player of games.
no,
So
sometimes
I find that a bit literal, especially when you're the GM. Which one's that? I've got to find out which one that is, and then remember that he's got a different weapon. But however, it is nice if you're a big figure collector and you design the figures. But I'm guessing there's no real reason why you couldn't. If you built your own conversions, you could make your own cards and stats up for them if you so inclined. So you've got
I've got no
fake
dice.
dice left.
I've got no. Yeah, I'm going to use a fake dice. So I'll burn the 2.
Okay, so the 5 is locked.
The 5 is locked, and I'm just going to do another brace of pistols attack with my Dwarven pistols. 1, 3. So
Same guy.
3 is enough to cause another. Oh, they've got 4, haven't they?
They've got 4, so there is a 3 wound token.
So we'll get rid of the 2 wounds and we'll put a 3 over there instead. And that's the end of my dwarf turn. So the fake dice moves back, and now it's on to the
Fleet Master?
The Fleet Master.
He has 4 dice.
Yeah, I see.
1, 2, 4, and 5. First, I use the dice to move, so I can move 4. So that's 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Actually, it won't be 3. 4.
You can run.
You can move quite quickly.
Yeah.
So if I use the second dice to move, which is 1, 2, there, 3. So if I use this third dice to attack with,
What attacks have you got?
do I have to specify which one I'm going to use? I've got a black arc
Yes.
cutlass and a murder hook. So if I chose murder hook and then missed it, I wouldn't do
You
any
waste your
damage.
4 dice if you do.
Which one are you attacking? Because he's the one who's taken wounds. How many does it do? 2. So you might as well at least do it on him.
Yes, because otherwise it'd be
You'll
wasted. wouldn't it?
overkill it, yeah.
Actually, if I'd used my weaker weapon, I would have killed him.
Yes.
It might have been worthwhile. So I need 3 to hit.
3.
Which I've got.
3.
So it's 2 damage,
2 damage
on
to
that one.
the guy.
And you didn't roll a 6, so you don't get your murderous
No, don't
swashbuckler.
get the other bit. Shall I use one of the fake dice?
And do another attack.
Are we limited to the number of fake dice we can use?
No, you can use all of them. You want to use them all by the end of the turn.
So
So
they
if
lock out.
you'll lock the 5 if you don't.
So I can use at least 2.
Yes.
And does that mean I need to? Because if
No,
If I
'cause
leave-
the last player can use all of them.
right, okay. So if I just use this one,
You can use the 5.
right, I use the 5,
And
so
that
I
just
can use the
locks the
murder hook again.
So that
That's a
5
4, isn't
locks
it?
the 4.
Okay. It's a hit.
Yep, so it's a hit. So that's another 2
You
damage
need
on
3
this
plus
one.
this, so that's 2 plus, and that one is killed one of those.
Okay.
Take him off.
So I've got a dice left. I might as well just. Actually, it doesn't make any difference, does it? I still have to roll to hit. So if I attack him,
You might as well use the.
I might as well use the murder hook again because it's the same to hit.
Hit.
So that's
kills him too.
2 damage on that one.
Okay, so he is dead at 2.
Cool.
Stu, you've killed 2 Blood Reavers, so you
Mhm.
get 2 renown.
Okay.
So you can move on from the table. So you're the green one there on top.
Okay.
So
I'll move him.
And back over to me.
okay.
My Lawmaster. 2 1s, a 3 and a 5.
Those Games Workshop ones.
Those Games Workshop ones. So I'm going to use 1 to move, and he moves 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use the Hand of Glory with the fake
What
dice.
does the Hand of Glory do?
So it's a 4+, and I nominate either myself or any other hero in the party and put this dice here until the end of the round.
Okay.
Whilst it's there, the controlling player can re-roll failed attack rolls for that hero.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not going to use that one because I haven't got anything I can use that one for. What I am going to do is I'm going to use these 2 dice and this other dice. I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast 3 times. So I'll do 1 at a time, but I'm going to do that 3 times.
Okay. Can you see?
I can see that guy and that guy. I would have thought through here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
So I'll do the first one, 3+ on the middle guy. hits, and that's D3 wounds. 2 wounds. I'm then going to cast the same thing again.
Here and then on the same guy.
Same guy. 1, but I've got my Hand of Glory, which means I can re-roll it, because I can re-roll failed attack rolls. Still a 1, so no good. And the last one on the same guy again, 4 plus, not 4 plus, it's 3 plus for Eldritch Blast, so that's hit. And D3 wounds again, 2, so that's enough to kill him.
So you've done both on this one in the middle.
Yep. On that one.
And he gets a point of renown as well, so I'll take the blue one for him and move that to the left. And I think the dwarf's hanging his head in shame because both the elves have killed more people than him.
So now it's the adversary phase.
Yeah.
At this point.
Alright, okay. Should we pass the torch?
Okay, so the adversary phase, for the Blood Reavers, none of them are pinned. So he's going to go to there. He's going to go to there. He's going to go to there.
Sorry, Alfie.
That's jolly unfair. They should at least move through and engage some of their other party.
I'm going to attack the Black Ark Fleet Master with one of my guys with the Reaver Blade, which is that one there. So it's 2d6, 4 plus to hit,
Hooray.
2 3, so they both missed.
Hurrah! They're as bad as we are, lads.
And then the guy with the on the diagonal to you to the Black Ark Fleet Master is going to use his Meat Ripper Axe, which is just 1 dice, and again it's 4 plus.
Hooray.
He missed
2.
with a 2. Final guy is going to use his Reaver Blade, and he's going to attack the Cogsmith through the doorway. So it's 4 plus.
Hooray!
Right. Well, they clearly haven't been practicing, so. That is the end of the rather pathetic adversary phase, and heralds a new turn.
Beginning the next round means we have to re-roll the fate dice again, and as I'm going first, I get to roll them this time. 5 5s, here come. 2 6s and 2 1s.
So they go
So
out.
they go
So
out.
they go, and I get a 4.
No, that's not so good.
My Cogsmith will roll his dice now. For him, I get a 1, 2, 3, and a 5.
Your dice rolls have been quite poor so
They
far.
have, yeah.
Now, Cogsmith has got a mean attack if he rolls a 6. Is that right?
Yes, he does. Called the multi-barreled mayhem.
Yeah.
Using his Grudge Raker, which I think is all code for minigun, because last time we used it, it cleared whole rooms out.
Yeah.
But it is a 6.
Didn't we find out afterwards that if it's a missile weapon, it can't be used if you're in combat?
This is true. So my dwarf is currently
couldn't use it
adjacent to this guy here, so I need to either run away and shoot him in the face, or stand where I am and hit him in the face with an axe.
Decision.
Well, the trouble is, if I want to move him away, his agility is 6 plus.
Ow.
So I pretty
you
much
probably have
can't.
to hit him.
I've got to hit him in the face with an axe,
Yeah.
and also I've got no other abilities other than Cog Axe. I might as well use all 4 on that, or at least I'll do them one at a time. Because
Because
then
if you kill him, then you can shoot.
Yeah, that's true. So I shall use my 1 plus for the Cog Axe. It hits on a 4 plus. Nope.
Missed.
I've realised I
2.
can't kill him because it only does 1 damage a time.
Okay.
So I might as well do all 3 attacks on him.
All at once.
Yeah, because
okay,
even if
yeah.
I hit with all 3, I can't kill him.
No, fair enough.
So 3 more attacks with the Cog Axe. 4s to hit. 2.
It's 2.
So he's taken 2 wounds because it's 1 damage apiece.
2 wounds. There you go. You want to take the last dice, or are you going to leave it to somebody who can actually do some damage?
Cutting. No, I shall leave that dice because I think somebody else might be able to make more use of it. If nobody else, then the Lore Master could.
Lord Castellant, what would you like to do?
I'm going to defer.
Okay, so yes, in this game you can defer your action to later in the game, and so that means it passes back over to the Lore Master.
The Lore Master,
who is also allowed to defer if he wants to, but I'm guessing that will probably defeat the object of...
Yeah, after you. No, after you. No, I insist after you. 1, a 1, a 2, and a 4. Oh, that's some poor rolling so far.
This is,
yeah. Right, so I'm going to use my 4 to use Hand of Glory, which still sounds a bit dodgy, and I'm going to cast that on the Fleet Master, so he can then re-roll any failed attack rolls. I'll steal that 4.
Yep.
And I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast, which is 3 plus. Hits.
Hey.
It's a 3 plus score required to cast it, and it's a 3 plus to hit. I didn't really clarify that. It's 3 plus on both. So he's hit, and it's D3 damage. So I need 2 to get rid of that guy in the doorway. Oh,
Just quickly recap the 3 types of weapon in this game. There's a combat weapon combat range, which the cogsmith is using at the moment. That's with the axe. That has to be adjacent, or through a doorway counts as adjacent. There's missile, which the lawmaster's just used, which you just have to be able to see, line of sight. And there's area effect, which is everybody in the chamber is affected by the weapon, but that doesn't mean you can't use it through a doorway. Because it would be in different chambers. So that is a conundrum. Pete, do you want to risk it at this point?
Because if roleplay's taught me nothing, it's the plan will rapidly crumble the minute we have contact with the enemy anyway. So I'm going to use one of my dice.
That means you're going to fail, though.
Yeah, obviously. Crash and burn time.
Okay.
And I'm going to use that dice to move forward one.
Okay.
I'm going to use my next dice, which is a 1, to use my Elven Greatsword, which is a 1+ to use anyway. And that hits on a 3+.
And
One.
and
Hooray!
Then it goes.
And here the plan begins to crumble.
So what are you going to do? You're going to attack, or are you going to try and move out of the way?
I'm going to have to try and move out of the way. So I'm going to use my last dice to move, but I need to roll a successful agility roll to get out of the way now.
Okay.
And that's a 3+. So
okay, chances are
the chances,
this is going to be a 1.
Yeah, pretty much. No! Oh god. So now it moves over to
the Lord
the.
Castellant, or is it the Fleet Master?
Is it the Fleet Master next, Rob?
Well, it's the Lord Castellant. He deferred.
He did defer.
He did defer. I think in that case it is the Fleet Master.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Ooh. 1, 2,
4, 4, and 6.
So he does have the Hand of Glory on him at the moment, so he can re-roll failed attack rolls.
I can attack with a Black Arc Cutlass on a 1+. So
Okay.
if I attack this guy who's almost dead,
With the cutlass.
3 to hit.
Right.
So I hit 1 damage
One
only.
damage, so that's him dead.
So he's dead.
So that's another
Another point of renown for you.
Stabby McStabberson.
So on a 4+, I can use the Murder Hook. So I will do that, and then roll to attack this guy.
3+ needed. Done it.
3+, so that's 2 damage on him.
There's your 2.
Tarp. Then got another second 4. I'll use the Murder Hook again on him. 3 to hit, so another 2 damage.
So he's then dead as well.
He is. So that's
And
those
another
out, isn't
point
it?
of renown.
And then might as well attack this guy. Don't get any bonuses for the 6, so I have to roll it. Oh, missed.
Can re-roll with the Hand of Glory though.
So I can re-roll, but it's 1 re-roll.
So no. So at the end of that turn, it's now, Lord Castellan, because he deferred. He gets to stand in the back going, thanks guys.
Yes. I'm coming to save you. Or not. 2, 3.
So a 2, 3 and a 5.
I'm going to say that you can search. The rules strictly state that if there's adversaries on the board, then you can't. But I think with 2 rooms and 3 heroes between him and the 1 adversary, I think it's reasonable that you can think, right, you've got that, lads. I'm going to search. So I'm going to use what we call in our role-playing groups Dungeon Master's discretion.
Okay, so I use this 2 to search the room I'm in.
Yep.
On a 6+ you find something.
Yeah.
Okay. Not very likely then.
No, but if you search again, it's 5+.
Might as well search again.
Hooray.
Yes.
You found some glod.
Okay, you found some gold,
Excellent.
and also
Ooh.
you have an uneasy feeling while you're searching, but you also get a vision of a small a room with one of these kind of symbols in it,
8
and a little cache of gold.
I might as well move
Catch
up.
up.
I use the 5 to move up. I can move 3.
I should say, I pointed out
2,
this symbol
3.
here. We are playing this on the game mat, EU's lovely mouse mat style battle mat.
Havoc Square.
Havoc Square, yes, which is a very, very Age of Sigmar temple. It's a nice service to play on. I hope it shows up all right on here.
It looks pretty good.
Adversaries, that's me. I think he's going to stay where he is.
Bad dude. Oh, we need to pass back the tool.
Okay, he's going to stay where he is. He's going to roll his 2 dice for his meat ripper.
I thought it was 1 dice.
No, yes, it was only 1 dice, so I shall roll that again.
1 and a 6. It's not like you could just say,
And you missed.
hooray!
Continuing the trend of
We're all rubbish.
of being absolutely useless. Right, okay. Well, no, he's just going to lay down and die now. So it's back over to the Lord Castellant, who
Right.
can't do anything, so almost probably wants to defer.
Yes, I think he might as well, because there really isn't any benefit.
And now my cogsmith can try and kill Steel. Although before you do that, Stu, you need to roll the fate dice. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be awesome. Well, the last time you got the plague, so. Oh, what's a triple do?
A triple does nothing, it just
Oh.
all eradicated.
Oh,
I think in the other game it did things.
I thought in Silver Tower,
Yeah, Silver
triples
Tower
and
does it.
quadruples did
Yeah,
things.
they did do things. They summoned imps and things like that. But in this game, you just wipe them out.
Cogsmith's turn. I've got a 1, a 1, a 5 and a 6. I wanted
You've
the
got a
6
double 1,
earlier.
I think, every
I've not done well.
game.
It's these
every
dice.
roll.
It's these cursed curved dice. Right, I'm going to use my first number 1 to move. Because I believe I can just go 1, 2,
You certainly can.
3 over to, or actually 3 to there.
Okay.
I'm then going to use my.
Stab him in the back.
I'm going to use my.
You're going to use your amazing agility to backstab him.
I'm going to use my 6 with Grudge Raker to just try and blow him to pieces. I don't know if any of the shots will go straight through him and hit the other guy.
I don't
But
think that happens in this game.
I don't think you'd worry as you're a dwarf. And
no,
he's
that's
an elf.
true. He's an elf either way. Well, they're comically in the new system. They're both Order under Age of Sigmar, so
I
they're on
think
the
they
same
would, they would have
side.
been.
Hmm?
They would have been in the old game too. They just would have had
Well,
animosity.
Dark Elves
Oh, Dark Elves.
It's
Sorry,
the Dark Elf,
sorry,
isn't
no,
it?
sorry. Yes, you're right.
under the
I was
old
thinking
rules. So.
elves. I was thinking elves.
So, the Grudge Raker requires a 6 to use, which I'm using, and is a 3+ to hit, and it does 2 damage. 2 misses. Now, the multi-barreled mayhem special rule says after resolving the Grudge Raker action, roll a dice, and on a 3 or more, I can make the action again without having to spend any hero dice. And I keep going until I fail to roll a 3 or more.
Okay, and the key thing is that it doesn't matter whether you hit or not. You can roll.
It just says after resolving the action, roll a dice.
Yeah.
So,
It doesn't say successfully.
no, exactly. So, 4, so I can do it again. And this time I hit on a 3+ again. No, but I get to try again on a 3+. Yes. I can't hit, but I can keep shooting. 3+ to hit. A 6, hurrah! So that's 2 damage. And crucially, I can roll again to hit. Or, sorry, I can roll again to have another go.
Okay,
So
another 3+, is it?
3+ again to have another go. Yes.
Yep.
3+ to wound again. Hooray!
And this weapon
Those
is
blown to
really
pieces.
quite potent.
It gets
You
rather
do need a
silly.
6.
Should I just say, aren't you adjacent and therefore can't use a missile weapon?
That is a very
Oh, Stu! Well, in that case, I'll move him to
You're going to
there.
say,
Yes,
is
I'll be
it,
here instead.
yes.
Yeah, no, I wasn't actually there at all. Yes, that's a good point. I couldn't have shot him because I was adjacent to him, so I would have made sure to move my dwarf not adjacent
Yes,
before doing that.
it's a good job. I'm a generous GM and one who forgets the rules.
Yeah. I'd be more strict, but I can't remember any of the rules. So, okay, so I've got 2 dice left. So I'm going to use. You can't open a door when you're diagonally to it, can you? You have to be on a square.
You have to be
go
on a
through it.
square, yeah, I think.
Well, I'm gonna. He's a dwarf, right? So I'm gonna use those 2 dice instead to look for
Okay,
gold. I'm
roll
not going to lose.
6.
So thank you for remembering that, Stu. So a 6, I find something. No, but
5 or
there's another
6.
1, and this time it's on a 5 or 6. A 6! Hurrah!
So
There's
Dwarf
no-
Elf Lord.
Oh!
Oh look, the dark elf was hiding it the whole time. And that's the end of my turn. So now it moves over to the Fleet Master, I do believe. Fleet Master.
it is the Fleet Master. Black
Okay.
Ark Fleet Master's deferring, which means it's back over to the Law Master, which I assume means you can try and get your Hand of Glory in
I will
on somebody.
try and get
It's so
somebody
useful.
powered up. So 2 1s.
2 1s again.
A 2 and a 6.
Despite switching the colour of the dice.
I have, yeah. So I'm going to use my 6. So I'll cast Hand of Glory on the Fleet Master. I shall then use my score of 2 to move, and he can move 4 squares. So 1, 2, 3. I'll then use my next dice to open the portal.
Okay. Dum 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 dum. This room has lots of glittery, shiny bowls on pedestals, but you can't get to them. There's this large bit over here, which is
Chasm?
impassable.
Good.
At the moment, if only you had something to put across the gap, you think to yourselves?
There's another door, another
door there, and that's it.
How very peculiar. Okay, I'll use my last score dice to just go one.
You need some treasure,
two.
don't you?
And I think that's where my Lawmaster's going to finish his turn.
Some gold in this bowl here.
So does it come back to the Fleet Master or to the Castellant?
Castellant.
Because they both deferred now, so it's the Castellant. So he's probably just going to be doing a lot of moving. Ah, he's got a 6.
Yeah.
Oh, I still want to put that on the warding lantern. So with a 2, he'll move. So it's 1, 2, 3. So I think I'll move him again. So
Okay.
we can go 1, 2. I can either go there or there, I suppose. Yeah. If I'll finish my move there. I use the 3 to open the door.
Okay.
And that locks this 4 for the moment, doesn't it?
So that's this one. In here, lots of Kyric acolytes, all sitting in here, waiting for somebody to come along in this very narrow room.
Yeah, all playing cards.
And there's 8 of them.
Good lord! Only one of these can attack me. Is that right with this setup?
Yes. Yep.
So I will batter him with my. Do you think the area doesn't encompass the doorway? It's just that room.
You know, in the interest of demonstrating how the rules work and things, I'm going to say that you can cast it on this room, which you're facing and adjacent to, because it's more interesting.
Okay.
So.
So that's 6.
It doesn't make any sense. You're facing the right way. It's like stuff coming out of your lantern, isn't it?
I think so.
So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It can only be here. So I think we'll say you can use it.
Yeah, that's very kind. I will use this to attack with the warding lantern.
Robin's one of the best GMs there ever was.
At which point I will miss.
So Pete, what in your tea making absence?
Making tea, very important part of roleplay.
The Stu blocked the doorway with his Lord Castellan, and then opened it and found 8 cosy acolytes.
I've always wondered in dungeons when you walk into there's just a hallway and it's just filled with people just standing there.
I did think that when I when I was building the dungeon. If you're building your own dungeon, that you are slightly limited on the size of the tiles in this game. I didn't want to use all the interesting rooms, but also I wanted to showcase the different factions.
Yes.
Not suggesting that there might be anything else.
I'm sure
in the
there won't be
later.
It's all corners each.
Okay, so I will try attacking with the warding lantern. This is to hit 5. So I've actually hit, but I didn't roll a 6. Can you only re-roll failed rolls?
It says the controlling player can re-roll failed attack rolls for that hero.
So it's not a failed roll, but it's not a 6, sadly, because if it was a 6, the target would have suffered D3 wounds and then been stunned.
Right.
He is now only stunned.
But that's everybody, though, his area, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone in the room is stunned, but they
everybody's
take
stunned.
no wounds.
Pretty cool. That's good, because none of them can fight. Well, not many of them can fight anyway.
Is there a portal at the other end?
There is. It's in the middle of the 2 squares.
So the Castellant is out now. So I'm back to the Fleet Master.
Okay, I'm not going to put stun markers by all of them. No. They are all stunned and therefore can't fight this turn.
They're all stunning.
So would they normally have been able to attack us this turn?
One of them would.
Right.
So this fate dice moves back over to here.
Yeah, okay, so the Fleet Master has
a 1.
1. Lots of double 1s. I will move.
You could always try running this way.
Well, it's tempting.
Nothing in here.
Exactly. Be a bit like Han Solo. 1, 2, 3, 4. I really could go the other way, but I'm just down a die, so I'll use the other one, and then that would move him there. Can't you save dice until next go?
You can.
Oh yeah.
Which I'd
Another
forgotten.
important rule that Stu's remembered is that you can save the dice, but you do lose 1 pip. So if you save a 4, it'll be a 3 next turn.
So these would be...
I think you can only save 1.
Not only that, your dice that you save moves to the first square, because if you take a wound, then you lose the dice that's on that square, don't you?
So basically that dice is lost. I'll move the 4 up to here as a 3. And that's the Fleet Master's go, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
So we pass the torch.
Goes over back over here. My acolytes are all stunned, so I can't do anything.
No.
So it's
My turn.
your turn to roll a fate dice.
How many doubles and triples can I roll this time? Double six. So there you go. And a 2, 3, and a 5.
That's not too bad.
That's alright. I was just thinking I might move the dwarf the other way. They always say don't split the party.
No, exactly.
Oh, so I'm going to split the party. Why not? It's all good fun.
You can roll a double one.
Oh, well, I could, yeah. 5, 3, and 2 2s. I'm going to use my 2 2s and 3 to move 9 squares effectively.
Okay.
1,
So
2,
2,
3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. And I'm going to use the 2 over here
Okay.
to lock the 5 and to open the door.
Okay, there is a horrible and foul stench in this room.
That wasn't me.
There are also 3 Nurgle Blight Kings
Very bad.
having a party.
Tea party?
Which you've just interrupted. Well, it's Nurgle tea. Which
What,
is
decaffeinated?
I was going to say herbal, but
Well, that's even worse. What kind of foul creatures are these?
and they sort of start to slither towards you
Oh,
when you open the door.
bottoms. Well, I guess I use my last dice, which
To
I
run
was,
away.
which I was hoping would be a 6, but it's a 5. So I'm just going to use my Dwarden pistols. 2 dice, 3s to hit. 1 hit.
1 hit.
1 wound.
1 wound.
Unless they
okay.
get a save, I don't know if
On this one here, no, they don't have a save.
closest one, I guess.
They just have a vigour of 7.
7? They got more wounds than a hero. Run away. Run away. Over to you, Black Elk Fleetmaster. Oh no, it's the Lord
They
Castell.
don't. They
It's
don't
not Lord
move
Castell.
particularly fast. You might be pleased to know.
Well, they've only got to move 3,
Yeah, that's true.
and they can get me basically.
Yeah, but then you could run away next turn. Portal over here.
Oh, there's a portal there too. Don't mind me, just coming through.
I've come to
pretend
check your double glazing.
Just pretend I'm not here.
Where's the meter?
Just checking the meter. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Stu. I've completely lost track of what
Yes,
you're
right,
doing.
because they stand. I hadn't decided.
Oh, okay,
I'm just
okay.
trying to decide whether to defer him so I can get to the Fleet Master and possibly move him. If I defer, he just blocks the
If you want
doorway,
to do
so
that.
I either want to attack or move, I think, basically, so you might as well go.
Oh, a 1 and a 3.
Wow,
Terrible.
goodness me! You've got some sort of
Bloody
curse
terrible.
on this land. On this land. Your
Yeah,
house
well,
is-
it was quite cheap. They said something about Indian burial grounds, but I thought it'd be fine.
This is he's pinned here as well, so if I want to move, I presume we have to
Yes.
roll it.
No.
Does this dice reactivate?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's your.
Our fate does reactivate.
Doesn't really have one, it is 6. I will attack
Okay.
with the halberd.
A Kierak light.
4, so it does
Four,
hit.
hit.
That's 2 damage,
damage.
on this chap. On a one
He's still
plus.
alive.
3. So oh no, I can't. So that's a miss. I will attack again. No.
3.
3.
So I'll leave him there. He can bravely hold off the hordes.
Okay. So you're staying there. You've got a nice bottleneck going on there.
It's good that we've got a massive piece of gleaming armour just standing in the way going, nope,
Not coming out this way.
bar's closed. Oh no, can they come out the other way?
Oh yes.
Oh! Swear words. Yes, we need more people around this way. Right.
I can hear distant shouting from another room.
Sounds like a dwarf screaming in anguish and panic. It's probably nothing. Right, so my Lawmaster's going to go now. Ray, a 6.
Got a 6.
Didn't want it on that character though. So,
Did I say Master? I meant Cogsworth.
But you've already got shush. I'm going to use my Hand of Glory on your Fleet Master. So if he does get to do any attacks, they'll hopefully be more of a chance to hit. It's worth pointing out in this game that block squares block line of sight for missile attacks and for vision. So because he's standing here, he's not only stopping people coming through the door, he's also stopping any missile attacks coming across. So my Lawmaster at the back here can't actually shoot over him or past him in any way to hit any of these guys. Which is fair enough.
He's huge.
But yeah, especially him. I mean, the dwarf maybe not quite so much, but he does have a furnace on his back, so he still blocks the line of sight a bit. And we are in a cramped sort of dungeon, so
it's mostly cloak. You could probably just fire through it and just leave a little hole in the fabric.
Exactly. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to actually use my 3 dice to all move.
Okay.
Or at least I'm going to use 2 to start with. So I use the 2 2s to move. And he moves 4 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is one problem, is because it's not all perfect grid. How do you draw a line? So that's there, that tile, is it? Yeah. Okay, so that's that tile there. No, I can't see him then. I thought that was in the middle there, so that would have changed things a little bit. So in that case, I'm just going to use my last move my last dice to just move 1 to there. So it's over to the Fleet Master. So he's already got 1 dice that he reserved from last time, so he gets 3 dice left.
No, it's a really bad time to get that roll.
2 5s and a 6.
They're much more useful earlier.
Yes. Forget you've got both fate dice over there to use.
Yes, you can move a lot.
So you can move a long way.
So I will move with this one. I'll move 1, 2, 3, 4. God, a waste of a 5.
We could use the 3, but it makes not much odds, I don't think, for your attacks. Unless you have any 5 plus attacks.
I have 4 plus attacks.
Okay, we'll use the 3 then.
Yeah, just in
case.
case.
I'll use this because do I need to use all of these?
Yeah, you might as well.
Use the 3 to move again. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You are going to have to burn a 5 to move now.
I am going to have to, so I'll do that again. So I might as well go 1, 2, 3.
Now, if you move to there 4, you will block that
4
doorway. You will have 2 people attacking you though.
So you can attack either way. Well, you can attack there. You can't. You can shoot him if you've got a missile.
I haven't, unfortunately.
You have to attack those 2 then.
I'm just thinking if you go there, it stops more of them coming through.
It does.
It does mean you have 2 hitting you though.
Yeah. Verily, I am brave.
Well, my dice rolls, it probably isn't going to help too much.
So I've got 2 5s and a 6 left.
Okay.
So I will attack with the murder hook with this one.
You're attacking these guys.
Those 2 there, or one of those 2. I need 3 plus.
3, and it's a 6.
It's a 6. So what does that do? That means you can do another attack with the cutlass.
So I've done 2 damage, and if I roll a 6, I can make a black arc cutlass action against the same adversary.
No, so
they
you
are
get a
still
3
alive.
plus, then you will kill it.
3 plus.
Does
to do only 1 damage.
Yeah, that'll be enough to kill him.
Oh, cool.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Whoa,
So he's run round,
wallop,
stabbed him with one thing, and then chopped him with the other. I like it. So that's a point of renown to the
over here to the doctor.
who's the most
doing rather well.
renownest dark elf in the land.
So I've got this 5 to do another murder hook attack with. 3 plus.
Is that on there for a reason?
Oops, that's a 5. So 2
shot
damage
him. I shot him.
on this one.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
So 2 more damage on that Karakaka there.
Yeah, and then I've got a 6 left. No, there's no point squeezing into the room, is there? So I will attack him again. Another murder hook attack. A 3 plus, so that's a hit. And another 2 damage on that one.
He's dead as well.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that was wildly successful.
And he gets another point of renown. Bing! And everybody else is sitting there doing nothing. So we just realised that, as we mentioned earlier, with the different equipment they have, that some of them have shields on their arms. As you can see by this guy here, he's got a little shield on him. And that actually means that he's got 4 vigour,
So
not
he's still
3.
alive. You want a 3 token?
Yeah, I've got one.
Okay.
So he's on 3 wounds and has 1 left. The other guy, whilst he had a shield, it was on his back, so it was no use to him. So he decided he's dead anyway.
Okay, so for my turn, I'm going to move him to there. And I'm going to move him.
No.
1.
No.
2.
I thought they couldn't move that fast.
He's going to move 2.
He can move 3. And he's going to move 1, 2, 3. And he's going to move 1, Oh,
sorry, I forgot about diagonals. I'm sure sure they're very friendly.
They are. They just want to be friends. They just want to give you a big kiss. So, we'll attack with these guys.
I don't think I'd bump into anyone in a dungeon who'd want to do that and for me to be okay with it.
Depends what sort of dungeon it is. I shall attack with the acolytes first. So is that what weapons we got there? We've got
They both seem to have some kind of staves.
Do you think they're glaives?
Yeah,
I think they're
some
glaives.
kind of glavey things.
Okay, so 2 attacks with glaive.
Horribly, the glaives still also have shields. So
On
they
the black
get
Yeah,
both.
on the Black Orc chappie.
Black Orc.
Black
Black
Orc.
It's not very orcish.
Black Arc.
Alright.
So that has 2 damage instead of 1. So they're using their Curse Blade, which is 2 dice at 4+. So it's actually 4 dice.
4 dice at 4+,
4
and
dice
they
at
do
4
2
plus,
damage
they do 2
apiece.
damage apiece. I could kill you.
No, he's got save. But yeah, you could still.
Terrible dice rolls. But anyway, that
One
is
hit.
1 hit. So that's 2 damage if you don't save it.
So now,
The
do
save,
you
the
roll
first saving throw of the game.
Yeah.
It's you save. It's like OS. So you save if you save.
Save
it,
first, take damage after.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right, so I need a
It's all or
5 plus.
A 5. It's a 5. Off camera there. It's a 5.
Really well.
So he's saved it. So still, I have done no damage.
Clang.
Now things are
Oh,
going to. Now things are about to change. I fear.
Yeah.
So the Putrid Blight King.
I love these models.
They have 3 dice, and they need 3+. Now this guy here has got. It's not a plague standard, is it?
No.
Is it? No.
He's got some kind of.
What's a sonorous toxin? Is that the?
That's the bell.
That's the bell. So we haven't got one of those. Is a toxin a bell? Then, is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Filth encrusted shields. So he has got a shield. So he's actually got extra vigour. You'll be pleased to know.
Oh, good.
And a Blight Lord. I don't think he's the Blight Lord. Is there? None of the characters are they? So
He's the champion.
is he?
Kind of guy.
Okay, so he's the Blight Lord. So he gets an extra dice.
Oh.
I
mean, no, there are no champions.
So this guy's a shield, so it doesn't get anything extra apart from 1 to his vigour. So it's 3 dice. I need 3+ to hit.
Hey! 1, 2, and 2.
Oh my woolly word! Right, so I missed. Okay, so
Good.
this guy here, who
I
isn't the
approve.
champion, these 3 on the Cogsmith have hit twice. So it's 2 saves, please, sir.
Okay, so my save is 4+. 2 4s. Get in there.
Still haven't done any damage.
You're
Camera
rubbish.
up there, you can't see me. I'm looking at you. God's in the camera right now. This one is the champion, so he gets 4 dice. That's 3 hits.
3 hits.
3 saves of 4+.
Are they 1 damage each?
They are.
Oh, thank God. Or else I'd really be in trouble. Hooray! 1 damage.
So 1 damage. So after all that, finally I've scored a hit.
So we take 1 damage token, we stick it on there, and then my poor little dwarfy can only roll 3 dice next turn. For anyone who was wondering, a toxin is a alarm bell or a signal. So it's not actually a bell, but it's.
I've never heard that word before.
TOCSIN.
Yes. Okay, so recuperations can be taken as an action even if there are bad guys around. 'cause
Do
it doesn't
comment
say
in the
otherwise.
comments if that's incorrect and I've missed it.
The comments in the bottom.
Yeah, under the table. That is the end of the adversarial phase.
And you did rubbish.
And once again, my dice rolls have let me down. I think this game may go on till midnight as a result of our terrible dice rolls. Torch has already moved, hasn't it? So it's fate dice time.
Okay.
Fate dice. Oh,
That's
3
it,
ones.
stinking
Oh,
part.
nothing. We've got nothing.
No fate dice.
We've got 3 ones and 2 flies. We lose
Full
everything.
house. Full house.
We get a something happens.
You get a kick in the teeth. Oh no. Sorry.
Well,
sorry. Yeah, it might be a kick in the teeth.
yeah, I was going to say not literally, but
You get to
metaphorically
roll
speaking.
on the whatever it is table, the unexpected event table.
Maybe loads of gold will just fall out the ceiling. 'Cause that would
That
be
would
quite
be-
unexpected.
That would be an unexpected
Preferably
event.
crush the opponents.
Yeah.
No, don't do it on the same table, really.
Nah, do a different one. So
Okay.
people won't be able to guess.
Right. Roll a dice for me, please, boys.
Go on, Stu. You fluffed it up, it's your fault.
True.
4.
4. Okay.
Fluffy kittens.
Right, I'm going to say that nothing has happened. That was an ambush.
Hurrah!
But I'm going to say in this case that there really is no need for you to be ambushed.
You'll all be quite dead soon.
Time is passing. I don't need any more monsters in this fight. So the ambush bursts and goes, actually, this looks like it's under control. And they go
No
off.
one expects the Spanish. Actually, you guys have got this. Don't worry about it.
And they go off
Okay.
somewhere else. Lord Castellant, are you
Yes.
going first? You might as well.
I think you might as well. I don't think you can do much.
Unless you want the Lawmaster master to boost him, but can you do it within? Is there a range of your spell?
No, it just says pick any hero in the party.
Okay, so they're fair enough. You're quite well spread out now. I'd be getting hives if I was a player at this point.
So he's not going to be able to catch up, I don't think. So he might as well stay there.
You're best just standing there wailing away at them. Oh,
1, 1, and 3. I need 4+ to attack. I'm going to start rolling
2.
closer. So that was a fail. I'll try again.
4+. That's a hit.
5 is a hit.
So that's 2 damage.
That's enough.
Right, that's enough to kill that one.
He's already taken 2 damage,
So
so he's off. And when you get a renowned,
you get 1 renown.
I think you should get.
Shall I make him brown?
Yeah, making the next colour there. So who hasn't had any renown yet? Is it the
The Lawmaster.
If you stun 3 or more adversaries in the warding lands in a turn, gain 1 renown.
Oh,
Oh,
you can
so
have
you
that
get
then.
another
Have that, yeah,
You
you
get
did.
2 then.
You stunned 8. So that's the Lord Castellan's turn
That is the
over.
Lord Castellan's turn.
Over to
Cogsmith.
the Cogsmith.
I think
Hit
I'm
things.
I think I'm going to defer the Cogsmith just in case I roll a 6 with my multi-barreled mayhem. I'd like to have the Lawmaster's blessing on him first. So I'm going to defer over to the Black Ark Fleetmaster. Whether you want to
Okey-dokey.
defer him as well or not is up to you. But I don't think there's
Probably not much point.
There's literally 4 of them surrounding you, so you probably just want to get on and start hitting somebody.
Which way are you going?
Roll dice first.
Oh yes, sorry. I was thinking he was attacking, but
2,
5,
2,
4,
4.
slightly
2.
better.
I will try a cutlass on the wounded one.
It's a 1.
No,
Hoot.
missed.
Miss.
I'll try a cutlass again on the wounded one.
It's a 3.
So that's there's 1 damage
Hit.
on him.
So that's
He's
killed
dead.
that one. So you get 1
He gets
renown.
another renown again.
I'll try the murder hook on the remaining. I forget what he was. This one.
I'm going to go on him because you. Yeah, I don't know.
The bigger one.
I'm just thinking he's going to do more damage.
I
I don't, but you might kill him off quicker. So it really is up to you. There's no. I can't think of a better way of doing it right now.
I'll try the guy with the glaive again. I've started.
It's a miss.
It is a
2.
miss. So then the 5.
Murder hook again.
3, which is a
3.
hit.
Right.
So it's the murder hook on that one.
So that's 2 damage. Okay, and he has a shield, so they've got 4.
Is the Fleetmaster finished?
So it's onto my Lore Master. I roll
Oh,
2 and 3 5s.
oh.
That's slightly
That was
better,
lost,
and I'm
wasn't it?
completely the wrong character for that kind of roll. Well, actually,
You want a 6 though, don't you?
I want a 6,
Yeah.
but not for my Lawmaster. I want a 6 for
No,
my
for
Cogsmith.
Cogsmith, yeah.
So I'm going to use a 5 to cast Hand of Glory onto my Cogsmith.
Okay.
I'm then going to
Run away.
run away, run away.
I've done my bit. I'm out of here.
I'm going to use one of my 5 to cast Eldritch Blast, which hits on a 3+. 4
That's a hit.
does D3 damage. 2 damage. So he's up to 3 damage now.
Okay.
And I'm going to use another one of my 5s to cast it again on the same guy. So 3+ hit. 4 again. Another 2 damage.
2 damage. Nice.
Excellent. So he's up
And he
to
doesn't have a shield. So
He doesn't.
He's closer to dead.
He's up to 5 damage.
Another one
now.
of those would kill him.
And I don't have enough. I really don't know what to do with the last dice. I don't think I'm going to use it. Always seems such a waste to not use it. But the only thing I could do would be move. So I'm
There's
just
not much point,
There's not
is
much
there?
point moving, so I'm not going to use that one at all. So that's the end of the Lawmaster's turn. So
It's just the
Cogsmith
Cogsmith
left.
to go,
just the
isn't it?
Cogsmith, yeah.
Mm.
So he gets 3 dice now because he's taken a wound already. I really want a 6 here. I want 1 6 here. Yes! It's minigun time. And this is where I roll the 1 as well. So the first thing I need to do is actually have to move away a square. So I need to use a 3 to move him away. And I'm having a... Oh god, he's a to 6.
Is that you sure you want to do that?
I've already used my 6 for the game now. Oh god, I don't know what I'm gonna have to.
No, are you sure you don't want to try and kill him?
With his axe.
Because if you kill him with the axe, then you can move. He's only got 2 wounds.
No,
You
because
can-
he's there, so I'd still have to
Oh,
dodge.
because yeah. Yeah. You're not going to get a 6 though, are you?
Well, we're about to find out. No, the exact opposite of a 6.
Put him back.
Oh, I want to use that 6 so bad. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try one more time. I'm gonna try and
He's
move.
going
So
for
the hero.
glory.
The hero.
I'm going for glory. Need 6. Oh, fine. I use the cog axe with my 6 against him. 4+ to hit. 1 damage.
5.
5. Hooray! So that is enough. Does he take 6 damage? 7. Oh.
Right. Well, I can't
So
see anything possibly going wrong for you in the next turn
there.
or so.
I can see nothing wrong with my actions. I regret nothing.
Right. So it's my turn. Adversary phase. He's going to move to there. He's going to move. Oops. He's going
he's falling in the cannon.
No, he's dead.
He's
Dead.
going to roll off.
Counts.
He's going to move to there. We'll attack with the acolyte here. Most training school for these acolytes is really quite terrible.
I don't know, I think it's the same place our guys went
Okay,
to.
so this is this a glaive again?
It is, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks glaivish.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's definitely not just a sword. So.
Roll 4 dice.
Let's see how
Well,
far
he's
it's
got a
play.
knife. He's just got a knife. So the
Yeah.
glaive. What does the glaive do? It has 2 damage. So the glaive hit once.
1 hit.
So it's one save required.
1 save from the
Black
Flint
Hole,
Master,
yeah.
which is 5+.
Oh, so
it's
it's
taken a
2
wound.
damage.
Ooh.
And he now has 2 less action points to spend next turn.
So now
Oh.
I'm going to attack with this guy. I'm sure nothing can go wrong here either. So it's 3. He's just got a shield. He hasn't got anything special. So it's just 3 at 3+. 2 saves required.
4+ to save.
Got to save both, at least one of them.
Save one of them.
Oh. So he takes another wound.
So 7 attacks at 3+.
So the champion guy has 4 and the other guy has 3. 4, 5 hits. 5 saves.
5 saves, please.
5 saves with 4+ here. I need at least 3 of them. I've got 3 of them. No, I haven't.
No.
2.
I can't count, and he's on the floor. I can't remember what happens there. So now we've got a hero out of action. I need 3 wound counters, please.
Okay, so these Blightkins are quite tough, aren't they?
Yeah, just a tad.
I don't know whether it's a lesson here. I'm not sure, but fighting on 2 fronts still seems to be quite tough in this game.
Well, it is when you've got 3 Blightkins who suddenly kick the door open and start smashing faces.
If a hero suffers a wound but all their spaces are already covered, they are grievously wounded. Remove them from the board.
Right.
But you're not.
Because I'm taking another wound.
No,
I've took just enough wounds.
If their player is the torchbearer, they must hand the torch to them. Grievously wounded characters are returned to the board when there are no adversaries on the board at the end of a hero phase. So, if you take any more damage, then
I'm removed.
You're removed. So you can still use fate dice. At
Oh
this
yes,
point.
so I can still use those to do stuff. Okay, so it's the beginning of the next round. I need to roll the fate dice, and there were no 6s.
Yeah.
However,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 fate dice. But that means we have a. I'm not going to play the unexpected. The unexpected encounters because
we're just so
unless it's magically heals everybody.
That's handy. That's nice.
Pity it wasn't a 6.
Yeah, but I can use some of those for my cogsmith, which I'm going to need. So I'm going to use I'll use the 1, and that locks the 5.
Okay.
And I'm going to just do a cogaxe attack on this guy here, because if I do 1 wound, he's out. 6, hurrah! So he's dead.
Nice. And you get a point of renown.
Hooray! The dwarf did something.
Is that one?
So I'm going to use a 2 to remove a
Does
wound.
that lock the 4?
It does lock the 4. And then that'll take the wound off of him, so he's got one less there. And I think that's all I'm going to do with him, because I don't want to hog all the fate dice for anybody else. So that's the dwarf's turn over. See, when you've got all your wounds, you can do quite a bit as a hero, but the minute you start taking wounds, you rapidly
It's one of the things I quite
downhill.
like about this game is things get desperate pretty quick.
Yes.
Okay, so
If you don't start to take damage, like the other game we played, we never really got anyone came near us.
Cake in the park.
Yeah.
It was a walk in the park.
It was a cakewalk in the park with ducks and things. So, and if you don't get people hitting you and don't start taking wounds, you kind of cruise through it quite nicely. But the minute it starts to go wrong,
it goes wrong.
It goes wrong quickly.
So
we need a 6 on this guy.
I
Then.
do need a 6 on the stunt.
Oh,
we
2
haven't
ones
got one.
again. Another
2
2
ones and a 5. Pooped.
I said there was nothing to that report about the dice.
Yeah, well, you're starting to change your thought process now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to attack with the halberd.
Albert.
No.
Mrs.
Attack with the halberd again. Yes.
So that's
2 damage on that one.
Dos damage.
And then I'll attack with the halberd again.
For good measure.
No.
Now you could take one of the fate dice.
Because
they're
they're unlocked.
true.
They're unlocked.
Yeah, they're unlocked.
What's your attack need? A 1+?
1 or a 6, basically.
Yeah.
So I might as well take the 3.
That locks the 5
5
again.
Have another attack.
Hooray.
5, yes, so another 2 damage on
Yeah,
him.
he's dead.
Kills him.
That's another point of renown to the Lord Castellant.
Which is him, I think.
And then that dice moves back there.
Yep. So your Lord Master?
Lord Master. Yeah. 1, 2, 2, and a 4. So I'm going to cast Hand of Glory with my 4 onto your...
I've only got limited goes.
Oh, that's a good point.
I need 1s or 4s for my attack.
Actually, I'm going to... I'll cast it on myself then, yeah.
Yeah, probably makes sense.
I'm then going to use my 1 to move him. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to use both of my 2s to use my Elven Greatsword.
Ooh.
So, cast it on yourself, isn't that the same as...
Physician heal
Isn't
thyself.
it the same as just attacking?
What?
Again.
The Hand of Glory?
Yeah.
Well, no, because I can if you've got more than one attack, then you can re-roll both of those.
Okay.
So just
it's not
reroll
one
all
attack.
hit
Oh, it's
moves.
all okay.
So it's only worth casting on yourself if you've got at least 2 attacks to go.
Yeah.
Which I do in this case. So I'm going to use my Elven Greatsword twice on the Blight King there. So it hits on a 3+. 2 hits, and that's 2 damage apiece.
So that's 4 damage. Has he had any damage on him yet?
He hasn't.
Okay, he's got 8.
8? Oh, he's got a shield. Oh my god. However, the elf I think has done more damage than the dwarf.
That dwarf, he's not earned his good. I was thinking, oh no, the dwarf's going to decimate.
Yes, the last game
that's what
he definitely
he annihilated more of my troops.
Dominate the whole game.
Yeah.
This time round, not a sniff.
Well, 1 dice. So 1 dice for the Black Arc Fate Masters of 4. So you've got 3 dice to play with.
I will attack with my murder hook on that glaive.
The injured guy.
Chubby.
Oh, he
missed.
Don't want to miss though.
So
Yeah,
I'll try the same again.
3. It's a hit.
Hit him this time, so that's 2 damage.
2 damage. So that is dead. So there's 1 more point of renown.
Do you know, at the start of this game, I looked at the Fleet Master and I thought he's really averagely boring and has nothing good about him.
But
But
slowly.
he does solid out.
He's hacking things.
Yeah.
Just
So I could
constantly
use
hacks
this
away.
5 to move.
Yeah,
So I'm going to try moving.
Yeah. Okay.
So you need a 4 or more to move.
5.
Okay.
And see where we go.
So the Black Ark guys just legged it down.
Okay.
Screaming, not my face, not my face. And that's the end of the hero turn. So the torch
The
moves.
adversary phase.
Oh, they didn't plan very well. Thank God for that.
Natural animosity between Siege and Nurgle. They're not going to help each other out. So I will start with There's got 3 attacks on the on there. So this could be curtains for
One of
you.
them's got a glaive as well.
It does 2 damage. So I've got 2 dice. 4+. So 1.
hit.
There's 2 saves required.
2 or 1.
1 save.
1 save, sorry. That gets 2 wounds. If you don't make it, then
So
you are dead.
dead or
So that
previously
goes,
wounded.
well, that goes to 4, and then you've taken another one, so you're removed until there's nobody left on the board.
Right, and is that a grievous wound?
And then when you come back, you'll have a grievous wound. But leave it for the moment,
Right.
in case you all die.
So he's off.
Okay, so I've just got 1 attack over here, haven't I?
Yep. Who's he going
So-
on? The Cogsmith or the Lore Master?
He will go on the Cogsmith.
Makes sense. He's been hitting him up till now.
Yeah. 2.
Uh-oh. I've got a 4-up save here. I need to save one of them at least. Or neither. 3 and a 3. Awesome.
So you're in the same position. So the
Yes.
Cogsmith comes off.
So our 2 main damage dealers are both out of the equation now.
Any more attacks?
No, I haven't got any more, I'm afraid.
So,
So it's the Lord Castellant.
yep.
Oh, it's got a 6.
Oh, we have got 6.
I'm going to move in
Okay,
to there.
then you could use the warding
And
lantern.
I'm going to use the warding lantern.
No, you really want
I
another
really,
6.
really need to hit this with a 4.
Or is it a 6 that does?
It's a 6, I need to
4
use
does
it.
the stunning.
And I need a 6 to stun and do damage. No! So I've done nothing. That's a hit with a halberd on, which is the worst one. This guy with the glaive. 2 damage on him. 2. Okay. I will use
Hopefully
another hit with a halberd.
Got him.
Yes,
6.
needed that last time.
So that's another renown.
Another renown for you. Will go there.
Another one.
Law. Okay, so my turn then. The Lawmaster, 4 dice.
Oh, you could just run away.
2, 2, 4, and
Shoot
5.
from afar.
So I'm going to use a 1. In fact, I'll use the. It makes no odds, so I'm just going to use the 2 fate dice. I'm going to do 2 attacks on him with the greatsword because they do 2 damage apiece. I need them both to hit to kill him. 3 plus to hit. Yay! So he's dead. I've killed him.
Hey, well done.
Nice work.
I'm going to use Hand of Glory on myself, and I'm going to use one of my number 2s to move. Do I need to dodge, or do I need to move to hit him from here?
You need to move.
Because you can't see him, can you, from there? I would say.
Oh, that's
So you
right.
don't need
Because
to
this is
dodge.
only attached to 1 square.
So you
it
don't need to
doesn't-
dodge.
So I don't need to dodge.
You
So I
can
can
move
go
all the way to there.
1, 2, 3
Yeah.
over to here. I've got 2 dice left, and I'm going to do 2 Eldritch Blasts. 3 plus to hit. 1 hit, and it's D3 wounds. 2 wounds. So he is slightly more annoyed with me
Yeah.
now. And that is the end of my... Oh! Did I miss a hit? I did. I can re-roll it because
Okay.
of my
Oh yeah,
Hand
don't
of
forget
Glory.
that.
So I
Don't forget
re-roll my
that.
hit.
That's a
Hits.
6.
It was worth it. Another 2 wounds.
Nice.
So he's
Got
taken 4 wounds.
Okay, so he's nearly dead.
Right, so
that's
Halfway dead. Torch goes over. Adversary phase. Ooh. 1, 2.
Boo. I don't think
They're not going to move. So these guys are just with swords. 2 dice, 4 plus to hit.
These are the Carrick.
Carrick acolytes. Just the 1 hit. The dice is returned. So 1
Awesome.
save.
No.
Failure.
1 wound.
1 wound.
So the Castellan is now up to
Half.
2 wounds.
Okay, and the Blight King. 3 wounds at 3 plus.
Now 3 hits.
3 saves. 3 saves require 5 plus.
5 plus saves. Ouch. 3 wounds for me.
So you're nearly dead.
I've got the torch now, so I roll the fate dice. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, but no 6s.
No sixes.
A 1, a 3, and a 5. And then my elf gets to roll his dice as well. A 3. If I use my 3, I can heal myself of a wound because we found nothing in the rules to suggest
Yes, no, so you can do
otherwise.
that.
That's true, and we got fake dice.
We've got some fake dice, so I might as well use one of those
Because
fake
2
dice.
hits will kill him.
What, this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I use 1 to start with my Elven Great Sword, which is a 3 plus to hit. Hits. That's 2 wounds, so he's up to 6. Now that locks the 3, so I could use the 1 as well.
It's probably worth it.
3 plus to hit. Let's
Just
see. Hits.
Got him.
So
Killed
he's
him.
Dead.
So
He's the Blight King Slayer.
Yeah.
He's only killed 2 people. 2 of the toughest ones there.
Nice
He doesn't
work.
deal with amateurs. He's
I'm
strictly.
sorry, you're not a tough enough enemy.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just not even going to pay attention to you. I'm strictly Premier League.
So, the Castellant.
At 1 and a 2.
Can you heal on any dice?
Yeah.
1 plus.
1 plus.
And if you do it again, the next dice is a 2 plus.
Yeah.
And
You
again,
could
it's a
heal.
So I
3
might as well
you
heal
could-
that 1 wound because I can't heal this one
No,
anyway.
yeah.
Then I'll use this to make an attack with the halberd on
I don't think it makes any difference. They're the same, pretty much.
Yeah.
one on the left. Say no,
Boo.
and then this one's
Another halberd attack.
yeah.
No.
Is it the adversary phase?
Yeah.
The torch moves across.
So I've got 4 attacks. And it's at 4 plus. That's 3, I'm afraid.
3 saves.
3 saves of 4 plus.
4 plus.
1 made. 2 wounds.
Fudge.
Fudge sickles. So it's the beginning of our turn again. So
Goes around quick when there's only
we
2
need some
characters.
6s. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Oh,
No 6s.
Oh.
No
Oh.
dice.
No dice at all.
It's a full house.
Two
So
ones,
there'll be another
3
unexpected
threes.
event, which I'm not going to do.
Because we're
The
nearly
unexpected event
dead.
is that you're still alive.
The Castellant.
1 dice. Oh.
1, 2. I could heal myself with it.
You could.
I would. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't kill someone.
No, heal.
That's my turn.
Go for it.
My turn.
Save the party.
I'll try. A 3 and a 5. I've got to use
You've
one of
got
those
to
to move. I
yeah.
should have sat there. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Right, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and use my 3 to do that. In fact, I'm going to go to there. Because you've still got a better save than me. An Eldritch Blast could do 1 more damage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use my other dice to cast Eldritch Blast, which is a 3+. Hits.
Excellent.
D3 wounds. 1.
So he's on 3. Having a 3 phase? It is 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
This guy
yes,
is
much
going to.
It's like the last
attempt
round
to
of
move.
Age of Sigmar.
And he is going to succeed.
It's like it took me shooting him in the back with magical powers personally or something. Right, come here, pointy
attack
ears.
on you is 1 hit,
Oh dear.
1 save required.
5 up. Come on. No.
And
So
the
that's
attack
a
on you
wound. Wound for me.
is a miss.
Yay!
So it's back to you.
Next round.
It's the fate dice.
Fake dice.
Oh, it's a
That's
6.
what we want.
It's a much
2,
needed 6.
3, and a 6.
I was waiting for you to roll a double 6.
Yeah, I've got a 6. Oh no. Okay, and then I get 1 dice as well. A 4. Well, that's a good point because he's already got 1 wound, so I might as well use that to attack him with my greatsword, which is 3+. That's your fault, that is.
Fate dice?
I'm going to use a fate dice. I'll use the
So
2.
locks the 6.
Locks
The
the
all
6.
important 6.
And I'll get rid of a wound with that. So I'm
Okay.
back to 2 wounds. So hopefully you're not going to kill me.
You could use the 3.
I think
Unless
Stu might need them more because
he's got 2 dice.
You've
yeah,
got 2 dice.
yeah, I know,
He's
but
going to take the 6.
I think it might be better if you can.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Actually, yeah, because if you managed to roll another 6, you could stun them both.
yeah,
You'd be laughing.
4 and a 4.
2 4s.
Well, the thing is, I could use the warding lantern, or I could use it for
You've fallen for
healing.
that before.
I know. See, if I put it on healing at the end of the round, I could remove wound markers.
And if you do roll a 6 with the warding lantern, it'll do D3 wounds
You
to
kill
each
them
other.
both. It's not great.
Could possibly. It's not likely though, is it?
No.
Chance of that are like
last
1 in a
time
million.
last time he missed.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Well, that means he's due a hit now.
I'm going to make a halberd attack on that one.
We need to sit down and have a conversation about. Oh, he's hit.
So I hit
We need to sit and
this
have a
one.
talk about probability.
That's how it works.
Next week's video will be on probability 101.
You should probably know a lot more about that by now.
I'll attack him again with a halberd.
Sorry, Stu. You're playing with it. It's all
Oh,
rubbish.
I missed.
Missed. Boom.
So,
I
I'll
think
take
use
this one.
healiness on your 6. Use the healing.
I
thing.
think so. The healing thing probably.
Yeah, so
another
halberd again.
attack.
If you hit him, you'll kill him.
Yes.
Yes, 6. That's killed him. It's a point of renown.
It was the brown one, I think. Yeah.
Because the elf was doing particularly well on green.
Yes.
Right.
Poor man.
So the 6, I can either try a healing light or a
Yeah.
warding lantern. I think healing lights probably makes more sense.
I can
Put
go.
hero dice here until the end of the turn. When you remove the dice, remove a wound marker from all heroes in the party who are on the board.
That's the
Yeah,
end of
so
my
that's all
So I'm
right.
going to
Attack's
attack
gone,
you.
isn't it?
2. 1 hit.
1 hit. 5 up to save. Oh
You saved.
Have some.
So you're going to use your healing power now. So
Yep,
it's gives
so
you
I
your
take
6 for
that.
his healing power.
So we both get a
Heals-
wound back.
1 wound back. So suddenly you're looking quite healthy.
Yeah, not
And
so smart now, are you?
Fate dice turn.
Oh.
2 sixes.
Oh. I saw the
Oh.
6. I got excited. I realised it was just Zinch laughing at us.
Quite like that mechanic. I have to say, of all the game, I like that.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
And it's the fate dice are nice to add things, but it's nice that you can't
do I
count
need to?
them.
Can I
Yeah.
roll and then defer, or do I need to defer first?
You have to decide.
I'd have to move and then attack. Would it be better to defer to you so you can attack straight away?
Yeah, I guess.
I'll defer.
So I'll do 3 dice on my Lawmaster. 4, 5, 6. Well, I'm going to use Hand of Glory on myself. 3's to hit. Hooray! I hit
He's
him.
been
He's
crushed by a
dead.
giant dice.
Hurrah! He's dead. 2 wounds with
you
my
got him.
great sword. He's dead.
Point of renown.
Point of renown for me, Alfie. And then I'm going to use my last dice to heal a wound off myself.
Okay.
So over to you, Stu.
So Oh, look
Come
at that.
on. Two
Oh.
6s and a 2.
Are you kidding me?
There's some planks of wood in this room.
Oh, there's some planks of wood in this room.
Yeah, which
Right.
look like they might be able to fit together to
There we go then.
cross the barrier.
Search on the 2. I didn't find anything.
No, because you've been, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, he's found something. You rolled a 6, is that right?
Or a 6, yes.
Yeah, so you found this treasure.
Hey. Killed
That
him.
one's worth 2.
Oh.
Turns out you find extra treasure.
So I'll put the planks together and make. Oh,
Well, you have to move here to do that.
move.
But
Oh, I move and do
Yeah.
the planky thing. So.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so you've now got a bridge across here.
Okay.
So you can move over to the other side and see if there's anything over there.
I'll move with that one.
Okay, you're not going to like me now, guys.
Oh.
When you step across
Why
the,
did I-
when you step across the portal.
Oh no. We should have waited for the rest of the party to come back.
I completely forgot
Oh,
all
God.
about that.
2
Oh Lord above.
Oh, horrors.
big horrors turn up.
Oh.
Sorry about that. This is a little. I put this in as a little demonstration.
But you've
This-
got your 6s.
This is from the original Warhammer Silver Tower box set, which are fully workable in this version, obviously. So I brought them along as a little surprise for Pete. Are you glad I brought those along as a surprise?
So glad. So glad I'm going to leave the room right there.
I'm gonna put one there for
Okay.
healing light, definitely, and then I'm gonna use this 6 on the warding lantern. I need to get a 4+ stun, and a 6 to do wounds, or not.
Okay. So you did nothing.
I did nothing.
You had 2 6s and you did
Are
nothing.
you sure you want to put that one on the healing lantern?
Well,
Son, I am disappointed.
I'll get a wound back.
You won't.
You won't because you haven't got any.
You've got
Well,
grievous
but you might
wounds.
take some.
Well, I'm about to take some now.
You might. You might.
Yeah, he's
So
got
that's
a
what I was
point.
thinking.
Yeah. Okay.
End of the hero phase.
Oh yeah. So the anniversary phase. I'm not going to move. I'm going to do a blazing whirlwind,
Oh, good.
Surely I'm better. Than
and I missed.
Hooray!
On a 1. It's a one dice hit. It does 1 damage. Actually, the worst damage. It says, but it does an area effect.
Hooray!
So they're a bit stupid, these big guys.
They're all right in my
So
book.
it's that's the end of the adversary phase.
Doesn't the other guy attack?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I use its flickering blade, which is 2 dice. 2+ to hit.
2 plus to hit.
2 hits, 1 damage. Sorry, 2 hits, 1 damage each.
Can I save?
Yes,
Yeah.
save them both.
Please do. Nope, 1 wound.
Saved 1.
You save 1, so that's good because you got your healy thing.
And a wound. So is that the end of the round?
Yes,
So
End
I'll take
round.
that dice off.
there
And
you
heal
go.
that
Oh,
wound.
yeah, I'm glad,
Hey,
glad we did
well.
that attack because you didn't. Otherwise, it would have been wasted.
That was actually very useful. So, back around again. Fake dice. Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted. A 1, a 5, and a 6. Roll my Law Master's dice. 3, 3, 5, and 6. So, first move I'll use a 3 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these red squares all obviously denote squares you can't pass,
Yeah.
but do they also block line of sight?
Yeah, they do, but not that one.
Not this one.
Sorry,
Not this one.
Not that one. Yeah,
Okay, so I can't actually attack either of them or see them to attack them.
I see. Actually, your
If
problem.
you were there, could you see? No.
No.
So I can't actually get to them at all.
Bugger.
So
Any doorways in this room?
No.
No.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my 6 to cast Hand of Glory on Stew,
Okay.
and I can't do anything else. So
You can move to here and attack.
but I can't attack them, can I?
Yeah. Through there. That's
Or
diagonally.
diagonally I can do it.
Diagonally, yeah.
Okay, in that case I use a move. I'll move over and I'll use a dice to do a great sword attack. Hits, 2 wounds.
You might as well use some of these as well. though, I think.
I'll use the one.
Okay. 2. Which one?
The one on the left.
My left.
Doesn't matter.
Don't care.
Don't care. Pick one. And I'll use the 1 again from the fake dice to get another Elven Greatsword attack, which also hits and does another 2. Same
Okay.
one. Hooray!
Ooh.
And a Demon Slayer. Oh, I forgot what happens next. Oh.
What?
Yeah, they split.
What? Blue horrors.
So when you kill a pink one, it splits into 2 blue ones.
When you kill a blue one? Don't tell me, I'll just be too upset.
It splits into 2 yellow ones.
So,
what you want to do first is you want to try and kill the pink one with your halberd, and then use the 6 for an area of effect thing to maybe hit more than one of them.
3, 3, and 1.
So you've got the Hand of Glory on you.
Okie dokie. Well, I'll use
So you
this
get to reroll.
halberd attack on the pink horror. Oh, no. So I can reroll that?
Yep.
Need a 4. No!
Double one.
Let's try the 3 on the pink horror. Halberd attack.
Hits.
Finally, 2 damage to that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll try this 3 again. Halberd attack on the pink horror. No.
Oh, is it a 4 up?
4 up.
You can reroll the hit.
I can reroll the hit. Reroll the hit.
Reroll the hit.
No.
Double 3.
Right.
Use the 5 then.
Use the 5. Another halberd attack.
Use the 5, Luke.
Yes.
Hooray, that gets rid of him.
Well, that was short. Never glad I spent
What a pity that was.
time painting those.
Bet you're glad you spent so long painting them up for us to go, yeah, kill him quickly.
I spent slightly longer painting them than some of the other things. They've had 2 coats.
So I've got a 6 left, so I might as well use that with the healing lantern.
The
No, the
Stony
warding
thing.
lantern.
warding
Yeah,
lantern.
'cause you
Because
can
if you
re-roll
roll a
it.
6 on this,
Yeah.
you'll
So
do
I
damage to the
preferably need to fail, so I can re-roll it again if it's not a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want. Well, I don't know. They'll all be stunned if you.
Yeah, that's true.
So they won't do any damage to you this round.
4.
So that's a hit.
It's a hit and they're
So
all
they're
stunned.
all stunned.
They're all stunned. I'm not going to put stun markers on them, so none of them can do anything, and they've gone yet.
Awesome.
None of them can do anything, so it's straight back over to the
Heroes.
hero phase.
We want another
And the fa-
6.
and the,
Just one 6.
roll of fate.
Just a single 6. Oh.
Oh, just the 5.
I was very specific in my request, and yet the dice mock me.
Is there any benefit to me or you going first?
If I go first, I might be able to give you a helping hand thingy again.
Okay, yeah, I'll defer you first.
Hooray!
Oh.
2 6s, just when I didn't want them. Flipping whatsits and doodles. Right, so I'll use one of my 6s to give Hand of Glory to you.
Righty-ho.
I'm going to use, I can pretty much only use my elven attacks now, my greatsword attacks. So I've got 3 of them.
Okay,
I'm
you
gonna
can
use them
choose
all.
any one of those 4.
Yeah, so I'll start on the first
But
one
you
until.
can't go there because there aren't any
Planks.
planks there.
Right, so I shall first one on the one that's on the plank. That's a hit, so that's 2 damage. How many wounds they've got? Blue horrors.
Oh, get
Get in there, I'm the blue horror slayer. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I actually haven't got. I don't have any more of these models, so just that'll be it.
I'll go on
So
the
is
yellow.
that 2 on each of those?
Yeah. Now maybe that's how it works. So that is. So actually, I only need one of those because that is 2.
Okay, so I'll hit the brimstone horror. 4. So that's that. Hopefully dead.
Yep.
So that one's that guy dead. So that's guy.
So you get 2 renown. Oh, no, I think you
One
only get
there.
1 renown for that for the whole caboodle.
You don't get it for
You
the.
don't get it. Oh, you might get it for the pink and not the rest. You only get 1.
Okay, and then I've got 1 dice.
Oh no,
left.
you do. You get it for the blue and the pink, but not the brimstone.
Right.
So
Okay.
you get
cool.
2 renown.
I think I already closed those,
Okay.
but I can't remember now. So and then the last one will go on one of the guys that's near. Yeah, I'll go on one of the ones that's near Stew. Hits. So that's another one of them dead.
Okay, so that's place by place. So you get a renown for that. So just to recap in our late haze, is that you get a renown for killing a pink horror, a renown for killing a blue horror, but you don't get it for killing a pair of brimstone horrors.
Okay.
They're a bit comparatively weedy.
So your turn, Stew. Ray, there's a 6. And you get to re-roll Hand of Glory.
Okie dokie. So I'll do a halberd attack on the blue horror. No. Do another halberd attack on the blue horror.
Oh,
No.
oh you can
It's
re-roll.
re-roll.
Re-roll the first one.
Reroll the first one.
Re-roll the first one.
No.
So
No.
this.
Reroll the second one. Yes.
Yes.
On the blue
That
horror.
kills the
so
blue.
Two
just
damage.
2 damage. So that's pair of brimstones.
And a point of renown.
And I've got a 6 here, so shall I use the warding lantern?
Yeah, because you might kill a load of them off if you roll a 6.
6 plus warding lantern needs to be 4 plus and above.
6!
Hey, finally! D3. It's
They're
D3.
stunned and D3 wounds.
Okay, so they're dead.
So they only take 1.
They only take 1.
Awesome.
So you only need a 2 or more.
Well,
Sorry, a 3 or
3 or more.
3 or more.
Oh!
So he takes 1 wound.
Okay.
But that does clear out the room a bit more quite nicely.
So we'll pass this over. It's my.
Oh, they're
phase.
stunned. He's stunned as well.
He's stunned, yes, so he can't do anything.
Right. So
Oh, no, I killed people, didn't I?
I've moved it off.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
So we get off 1, a 4 and a 5. I am going now. I need to roll my dice from my lore master. Really? 3 6s.
3 6s
Are
and a
you
1.
freaking kidding me with this?
Well, at least you've got somebody to kill.
Yeah. Woo. I'm going to use the 1. I'm going to move him over to here. I'm going to use a 6 to give Stu the Hand of Glory, just in case. I'm going to use one of my 6s to hit him with my Great Sword again, which hits, does 2 damage, so he's kaput.
So he becomes Brimstone Horror pair.
And my Renown moves on 1. And then I'm going to use my other one to hit him again with Great Sword. Hits as well.
That's
not
killed him. Well, those little surprise of horrors at the end didn't do as much as I hoped.
They did a lot less.
They didn't do much at all. Mainly because you started stunning them. And
I think that's because he actually got to use the lantern, which
But
actually
you actually
worked
got your
for him.
synergy going because you kept giving him boosts to help him kill
to help
things.
with the rerolls.
5 and 2 2s. So what have we got? Searching and moving, basically, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't open any more doors.
So
Searching there for Glod.
Yep, search for Glod.
Okay, I'm going to search once.
No.
I'm going to search twice.
3 times the lady.
Yeah, might as well, I suppose.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Search 3 times.
4 plus this time.
4 plus, so then 4th time for 3 plus. You wouldn't actually do it yet.
Oh, for the
5th time
I must have
2
moved with
plus.
some of those.
2 plus. Hooray! You found 1 Glod. Oh, we found a secret door.
A secret door
And
which opens when you find it.
And
And
find the
reveals-
Glod as well.
Oh yes, you find the Glod, you find 1 Glod.
And reveals an ogre.
I wouldn't do that to you.
2 ogres.
It finds a set of stairs
Right, we need to leg it.
which goes up and down to
Depending on where you're standing.
yes, upwards and downwards, so you can either take it back up to the city of Cinderfall or back down to the next layer of the dungeon.
Run away! Run away!
I think given the I mean, now we do get at the end of the turn our
Unconscious people
guys
come
turn
back.
don't they?
Yeah, I was sort of working on the fact that it was 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on going anymore.
So yes, what would happen now is at the end of the hero phase, before that, because you have to move to the square, is that you each come back without any wound counters on,
But with one,
but with 1 grievous wound counter, which is the 3 up, which you can only
just 3 skulls rather than 1 skull, and they can't be healed during
the game.
this
You can only,
dungeon.
you can only heal them.
Which would be a reason to return to Castleford.
Yeah.
Cinderfall.
Dark Rise to Castleford.
I think, given the chance, we would leg it out of there.
I think so.
What was in the last room?
There was this room, and there was a spear trap in there,
Right.
and some treasure.
I don't think we missed out on much.
Oh.
Yes, in theory, I shouldn't tell you that because
Yes.
it's still there on Explore, so you can go back, you can return to,
True.
but places are, you have to make an ambush roll to go through the dungeons. And things are,
Yes,
Yeah,
every
obviously pop up.
every turn you're moving
Pop up.
around,
yeah,
and there are no bad guys at the end of each hero phase. You roll a dice, don't you? On a
Yeah.
6, you roll on
Okay.
the
but these
The
treasures
table.
would stay there, and this treasure, and this treasure, which isn't on there, obviously, would stay there.
yeah.
My character's got a lot of Glod.
Well, you would go back to the town now,
Mm-hmm. Spend it.
And
Spend the glod.
And heal.
Spend it. Yeah, you can do various things in the town, which obviously we're not necessarily going to run through now because it's late. But
If you were playing a full, actually scripted and what's the word I'm looking for? An actual campaign setting where you were going to carry everything across, you would then go through this phase.
you would, yeah. I mean, some of the dungeons have specific events that happen in them, like you rescue somebody or you find something, which when you then go up to the city, it makes some of the things in the city easier. So somebody up there might be more helpful because you rescued their sister or something like that. But when you go up there, you can have each character can do one thing, and there's various things you can do, and then a random thing happens as well.
I see.
Like this one here, niggling injury.
Blood bolt.
So it means you can't do anything in Cinderfall at all. That's one of the random events. Or you can take part in a pit fight for free, because I think you can have a pit fight anyway. So there's various things. There's a big table. It's the D66, which is like the old D100 but with 2D6. So that, gentlemen, is that.
Cool.
Yeah,
that took us longer than the first time, but we had 4 heroes this time. The first time we only had 2.
And I thought we were going to die.
Really did think we were going to die
yeah,
at
it
one
was
point.
a good bit of jeopardy in there.
I prefer this to. I definitely prefer this to Silver Tower when we tried Silver Tower and it was just us 4 playing.
It's definitely better with the GM.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, it's not random.
it's less random. There's an element of randomness because in the actual mission you sometimes, or in the actual adventures in the book, you sometimes get told there are X amount in a room, don't you, or D6 in a room or something.
Yeah,
like
there
that.
are there was a bit of that, the random encounter.
The random encounter table.
That's only when you're ambushed and things, I think.
Yeah, true. And again, as the GM, you can decide if you don't want to do that because the party are doing particularly bad.
Well, I didn't feel we needed it actually. I mean, I know I set this up, and I wanted to set it up so that we could see all of the different monsters in action. I'm not sure actually we differentiated very much between them. Yeah, the acolytes. Yes, there isn't a lot between them really. The acolytes, they get 2 dice, but they hit on a 4+. The Blight Kings have 3 dice, but they hit on 3+, but they only do 1 damage, whereas the acolytes, some of them were doing 2 damage a time, weren't they?
Yeah, but then the
acolytes are a lot weaker. They only have a vigor of 3 or 4 if they've got shields, whereas the Blight Kings are 7 or 8.
Yeah, so they hang around a lot longer. And if you've got the toxin or the standard, I'm guessing they do extra things.
And the Blood Reavers, they didn't last very long. The Blood Reavers, did they? They were 4+ to hit, 1 damage.
But then
the Meat Ripper did D3 damage.
They came up against the whole
all
4-man team.
Yes, because you split the party.
Yes.
Which was unfortunate, really. It's not until how I intended it. I say it's unfortunate. I thought it was quite good.
It worked out,
but it was more cinematic, I suppose, and it made it more exciting actually than if you just stood there behind the Lord Castellan.
Yeah,
would have been quite boring, and that is a small limitation of these kind of very rigid 4-plan type games.
Yeah, there's no way to get around it.
The rule is they can't move past you.
Well, they can't see past you. They can't
see,
shoot past you. They can't do anything else.
Perhaps that person has to basicly withdraw.
Yeah,
and spend more.
But it's
dice.
quite hard if it was you, because your agility's 5+ and the dwarf even worse 6+. There isn't much scope. I mean, that does happen in D&D, but normally because there's a bit more flexibility, you can work your way around it.
You can do other
characters a bit more fleshed out.
You could cast things to move people, or you could just say, "I'm going to grab them and pull them out of the way," or that kind of thing.
But you haven't got that option.
Shut them through the doorway,
unless you invent it. Because obviously, the nice thing about this is if you've got you're playing with a group of friends, then you can invent stuff and talk about that.
Yeah,
which
you can make it up on the fly. So
everything in a Games Workshop game ought to be a conversation. I think pretty much, not everything, but
But the only time it's never going to be that, in my mind, is when it's a tournament.
Yeah,
and that's
because that's how we play.
That's how we do.
Well, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope
you can tell us all the things we missed and all the things we forgot to do. Let us know in the comments below.
I hope that gave you a flavour of the game, and I enjoyed that. I haven't played Silver Tower again since we played our review game because it was too random. I'd rather play a different board game. This I could actually see playing. If I didn't have the time and energy to play an RPG, I could see getting this out and playing it. And
there's not too much setup involved.
No, and it's quite good fun. It'd be quite good fun to run for the kids as well.
Yeah, you get the models, so that gets a bit more visual stimulation going there as well. And I love the simple washing over.
It's actually worked pretty well, hasn't it? I don't know if you can see that there. Probably not. Actually, the models are so really very good. And I just did spray them red, and then put a red Caribou Crimson wash over the top of them, and they look pretty good. The blood
like Hero Quest.
Yeah, well, that was our intention, wasn't it?
Yes.
To make them look like Hero Quest.
And the best thing about Hero Quest are the models.
Exactly. I will talk about in my written review. I will talk about assembling the models, because again, it wasn't as straightforward as I would have liked. But maybe that's just me. Most of you are expert modelers out there, but we have no problem at all. I know Pete's in love with the Blight Kings.
Oh yes.
I rather like the heroes, particularly the Pegleg Black Ark Fleetmaster.
Yeah, I do quite like him.
Yeah, actually, I like the Fireball on the Lawmaster.
Yeah, I wonder if that's Fireball, whether it's like an orb
it's not a fireball in the picture.
No, it's a coloured ball or something.
To me, it's a close combat. It's a close quarters dungeon thing. So it's fireball.
I haven't really noticed until I looked at the painted version. He kind of looks a bit samurai-ish. With the helmet and the crescent thing on the design on the front, it's a bit samurai.
Yeah. Very very high off as well.
But if you'd like to see us do more of the adventures, or maybe even actually document running through the whole game and recording all of what goes on, let us know in the comments. Give us your feedback. If you want to hear the sultry tones of Stu more, do let us know and we'll try and get him back.
Yes, thank you, Stu, for joining us this evening and agreeing to at least have your voice filmed or recorded.
Obviously, we can't actually let you know who he is because he's wanted by the CIA, and he is obviously an incredibly famous hand model.
Thank you for the invite.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Hello AS fans, here we are back again, the day after the game last night, which I have to say was a lot of fun. I hope it translated into fun viewing for you guys. It's a much better game. Shadows Over Hammerhal, much better than Silver Tower. Why? Just a bit of narrative consistency and just a reason for being there, and it's because you've got a games master. You've got a little bit of flexibility in how you play or what you do. So the games master, we got a bit bogged down towards the end. Time was running out, so I could ignore the ambush stuff, and nobody minded. And so it's kind of got that flexibility, that ability to improvise, which you haven't quite got in a game where you're all playing at once. Even though it's cooperative, you kind of, well, should we do that? Should we not do that? And I remember when we did play Silver Tower, there was one thing that the rule seemed a bit silly, but we couldn't quite work it out whether we were right or not, and so we kind of made a decision, but it felt a bit unsatisfactory. The GM could just write, this is the way it's going to be. Or decide ahead of time if he wasn't sure. So I really like that. I can really see playing this with my children, definitely. If I'm going to try and set up a game with the 8-year-old, I think his attention span probably not quite up to it yet, but the 11-year-old definitely. Some of the battles can take quite a long time. That is quite tiring for the games master. I probably made some mistakes. I definitely did some umming and ahhing. Obviously, I haven't played very much, but you've got to sort of leaf through trying to find what the stats are. Well, that's not too bad. The stats themselves aren't too bad, but because of the sort of model dictates what they about fighting with, you've got to try and remember each time. Oh, this is a shield. This is not a shield. This is a glaive. This is a hero. Whatever. Which is fine. It's not really any different to D&D or role playing, but it's just different to, I suppose in some ways it's very similar to AOS. Different units have different things, but it just means for the GM, I think it's probably a more intense experience. I liked the fact that you always use the 4. So no matter how many you've always got the 4. So you've always got the full complement sort of team. I quite like that, although there was quite a lot of deferring, which felt a bit silly. and the game certainly seemed to go a bit faster once we jettisoned 2 of the characters. But I suppose that's because there was less to do. I really like the. I know Games Workshop have used it in a few places now, but I really like this sort of fate dice mechanic. It gives, or sometimes it gives, and other times it takes away. So quite like you sort of relying on there being an extra attack, and you don't get it at all. Sometimes you do get, the useful 3 or 4 extra dice to sort of hit home the advantage. It was interesting to see how splitting the party really caused them strife. They were slightly unlucky there. But the game balanced pretty well, I thought. The Corn Reavers, Blood Reavers didn't. Corn Reaver sounds like a tasty snack from somewhere like Frankie and Benny's. The Blood Reavers didn't really. It doesn't quite sound so tasty. Blood Reaver sounds like what happened after you've been to Frankie and Benny's. The Blood Reavers, the Blood Reavers didn't stand up quite so well. The Blight Kings and the Acolytes, not quite sure which of those are the best. The Blight Kings are really strong. Obviously, there were only 3 of them, but a lot of those Blood Reavers did. Not Blood Reavers. Those Kyric Acolytes really did some serious damage. So I think that was it was an enjoyable game. I enjoyed it. The battles were good. A couple of them started to stretch out a little bit longer. When I do role play, I'm not hugely keen on the combat, and obviously here it is very combat oriented, but it's quite simple combat, which is good. Everybody knows what they're doing. It lasted a little bit too long for me, but obviously you can modify that by having less monsters. We didn't do any of the in-between stuff in the experience points things. One thing that was slightly unsatisfactory with 4 characters, 2 players, was the the renown wheel. I certainly got completely confused as to who had what, and I think the players did too. We didn't actually get the wheel all the way around. If you do get the wheel all the way around, then you get a skill dealt out to you randomly. So that's the benefit of getting renown. It's quite a nice mechanic. Sometimes it feels a bit arbitrary, but I think there should be a better way of tracking it. There's no colour code, so you're a colour on the wheel, but what colour are you? So we could easily forget, especially when you've got 2 of you and you're playing the 4 characters, which colour, which renown marker belongs to which character could easily be forgotten. I think I reckon there ought to be some way of. Well, it's easy enough to improvise, but a sort of. It would have been nice to come in the set, with the red flag or cube or just something to put on, or the colour of the dice. The Silver Tower did a different coloured dice. That would have been quite a nice way of doing it if you had different coloured dice. So the yellow dice is the yellow guy on the wheel. So that's really quite a small complaint. I did mention at the end of the video that some putting it together was quite hard. This is sort of one of my bugbears. I found one, I think, was a printing mistake in the assembly instructions, but those things happen. But the Corn guys, they had detailed instructions how to put the banner bearer and the musician or whatever it was together, but they were really obvious because those parts were really obvious. But then the other thing, he just said, just 7 of these, and just told you how to do one, and then you've got hundreds of multi-parts. Hundreds is exaggeration, but lots of different multi-parts. And if you're inexperienced, if you've got experience of it and you've done it, it's really no problem. It didn't take me very long to work out what to do, and actually they do fit very well. All the parts fit beautifully. The thought and the design that's gone into making sure that all the bits fit together is great. It just seems to be maybe Games Workshop need to stick their instructions under a complete newbie's eye just to see where the pitfalls are, because I think if you'd got, it just said 7 Blood Reavers and just gave an example of 1 with 1 number, I think you would be thinking, well, what do I do? I've got all these parts, and I'm supposed to make 7. How do I do that? Especially as some of them were single body and some of them were 2-part bodies. So that's something I think Games Workshop, considering the amount of investment, like I say, and the planning and the brilliance of the multi-part kits now, they perhaps need to think a little bit about the instructions. But with a bit of advice from somebody who's done it, so my son, with a bit of help, could have put those together. So that the instructions weren't as bad as the Gangs of Camorra instructions, and I think he could have done that. He's 11. So it's a small thing. Enjoyed this. We'll definitely be breaking this one out again, I think. Like I said, a really great introduction to probably the Warhammer world and role-playing simultaneously. So hopefully, I doubt we'll video it with the children, but hopefully we can sit down and with the kids and report back how that went. That would be a great thing to do. So I hope you found the video informative. I hope you enjoyed it. We certainly had a good time making it, as usual. So we will be back soon. I'm not sure quite what we have planned next. I know Pete's very keen to get another game of AOS in. So that may well be up next. I don't think we've certainly got nothing else to unbox at the moment. So until next time, we'll see you then. And as usual, if you've got any comments or observations, then please leave them in the comment boxes below. Bye. I've just realised I need to roll to see whether you were ambushed. Because if there are no creatures on the board, you have to roll for an ambush.
Isn't that at the end of a turn?
Could be, but there aren't any anyway.
No, I've decided.
That is the power of being the GM. So you're right, Pete. Much as I hate to admit it. Okay, there is something in here.
Giant mound of treasure.
Well, depends how you define treasure. I'm sure these characters' mums probably their treasure to them.
Angelus, where have you been? You can just cut that and it doesn't look like we've done anything.
Then you don't hear my scintillating conversation when you're leafing through the book.
I have to delete a lot of that.
Yeah, I did. I'm sure I said something at that point.
I'm sure I was incredibly witty about that.
I wouldn't go that far.
Dice to attack. Right, I've got Black Ark Cutlass.
Which is a Black Arse Cutlass.
Should have realised that I didn't know what I was going to say when I started the sentence.
That's never stopped you before.
Just as an aside, which I'll probably edit out. Many years ago, when I was about 15, my dad was doing the Financial Times.
When I were a lad.
My dad was doing the Financial Times crossword, and the answer was palanquin. Or palanquin, which he didn't know the word, and I knew the word from Nurgle.
Was it from Nurgle?
Yeah, Nurgle was palanquin. So he was very impressed and realised the benefits of playing
Little Toy Soldiers. I will say that I know a lot of words that I don't think I ever would have learnt had it not been for Warhammer.
Well, I've just learnt a new one. I didn't know what toxin was.
You know, many varieties of former medieval weaponry.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
They're not quite so applicable in our normal day-to-day life. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to get my oldest son into all this, because the stories are stories that are fantastical and are going to appeal to children. And it just exposes them to a whole world of literature and words and phrases that they might not otherwise...
Well, absolutely. Any form... I'm a great believer that any form of storytelling is good for anybody, but particularly for children.
Yes.
And make-believe and fostering that imagination.
Definitely.
Okay. It's quite a friendly game, this, isn't it? We're discussing of the best way you can kill my men.
But then I don't know why you'd ever want to play the other way.
No, I
because
don't really know either.
you get some people that are really competitive and they don't want you to give, if people are watching and they give advice, then no, don't tell them anything. You just think, but it's a game though. At the end of the day, we're playing with little toy plastic soldiers.
That is very true.
Let's have a degree of levity here.
It is meant to be fun.
I've crushed you! I win again.
Suckers!
Even more so in regular D&D sessions where you can say, right, you're in the pub, right, we'll all have a drink. It's poisoned, you're all dead. I'm so glad we spent 3 hours driving over here to do this.
I did actually go to a D&D session once with a group of people I didn't know, and the GM decided that the important piece of plot information was written in Dwarvish, and none of us could read Dwarvish, so none of us could do it, so we couldn't do the adventure.
See, I always think that the GM, the DM, whatever you call them, their main job is to tell a story and to make it cinematic, and if you do that, you're just not doing your job right.
No,
as far as
I'm concerned. Then we didn't know what to do, funnily enough. Brilliant. We didn't know each other either, so it was kind of a bit like, we don't really know.
What do you do then?
Kind of thing, yeah.
So that was it? It stopped there?
Well, no, we all had to decide what to do, but we didn't really know what we were doing.
Oh, fair enough.
So
it's like real life. You suddenly stick a load of people in a room. It's like a really horrible dinner party with nobody who you know.
That's one thing about yourself.
No! Well, I'm going to use Hand of Glory on myself. No good way of saying that.
How old are you?
Mentally or physically?
Oh dear.
Right, here we go.
Physically about 13.
I'm just sure, right? Right, so I'll use one of my 6s to give Hand of Glory to you.
Rightio.
Sorry. I think it's just... Right, I'm going...
You're 40 years old.
I'm not 40.
Well, he is.
36. Well, yeah, you're 40. I never thought it would be used to. Right. I've got out of my system now.
Suck it up.
Doesn't it hurt?